Oh, hello, how's everybody doing? Sorry, I was just testing something just then. But yeah, we are back into the letter. And we are going to play through, hopefully, the whole thing. Hopefully. This might be the last sesh that we have with the letter. It just might be, unless you guys want to do all the other routes, but we might do that at another time, perhaps in a few months' time, maybe in October, if for Halloween, but time will only tell. Until then, guys, we are back into it for Luke's route. To say that I'm scared of what's happening is a gross understatement. Trouble of any sort is the last thing I want to get home to after a long day at work and a trip to the bar. Oh, is this when he met, when Luke saw Marianne there? And when I see Hannah near prostrate? Near prostrate? What does that mean? I can only feel dread. She twitches and seizes, body wound and coiled tight before thrashing, shuddering and shaking. Like a woman possessed, her mouth falls open and her eyes roll to the back of her head. It has the hallmark signs of a seizure. The symptoms are similar enough. And that knowledge, the fact that I know this, only makes me feel worse. Oh, how does he know about a seizure? Is it because he made someone have a seizure at one point? Any anger I had caused by our disagreement on parting ways, no matter how temporary she claimed it to be, disappeared. The alcohol-induced daze that I felt was brushed aside as I run to help her. Oh, this was when Hannah was getting comforted by Luke at the mansion. None of that mattered at the moment. But to hold her close is all I can do while she thrashes about. I know this is wrong, that I'm not supposed to hold her down, yet I do it out of instinct, reflex even. I'm terrified of hurting her, but I see no other way to keep Hannah from hurting herself. It takes a lot to keep myself running off to get help when she needs me. Hello Ruth, how you doing? We are back, and we just started. We're on Luke's route now. And I think it's starting us off here when Hannah saw the ghost. And it takes everything I have to keep myself intact. When she says my name, I realize that the seizures have stopped, but that doesn't make the dread go away.
Please.
What happened here? Who did this to you?
Who?
I don't know. I am so sorry.
The sight of her tear-streaked face is enough to twist the knife in. It does not help that I'm as lost as she is right now, and all I can say is,
Shh, it's alright. You're safe now, Hannah.
aww.
You're safe now.
Aww. It takes a bit to go through the house with my inebriated self. He's still drunk. That's even made worse by the fact that I had to carry a nearly unconscious person as well. I was about to give up too, up until Strokken shows up to lighten the load. Oh, are we talking about Johans, the butler? He quietly takes her from me without question and brings her up to the bedroom. And me? Well, I couldn't bring myself to follow. Not right now. Not while I'm drunk and rattled by what had transpired. It's a miracle I was able to help at all. I tried to get knackered, hoping to score another taste of mint while I was out in the city, though I can't bring myself to go home with another woman in the end. If I did go with someone, it might have been too late just thinking about it. No one might have gotten to Hannah in time had I not gone home earlier than I intended. So here I am, sulking in a parlour chair with a glass of wine in hand. I can't even remember what particular vintage it is, and I practically did not care right now.
Because when you're already drunk and still have problems, even more alcohol should help.
Oh my god, he's so drunk. Wow. Do I have a nickname? I don't know. P5, I guess? P5? Or usually people just say prayer. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much the nickname, hey? Do you have a nickname, though? Because Luke obviously has nicknames for everyone. He just mentioned Mint or Marianne. Of course... Oh, he even said Johan says Strokken. I don't know what that means, though, but... Of course, the butler chooses now to appear and be unhelpful.
You know what actually solves all problems? Death. But it is not recommended. Alcohol isn't a true solution either.
It's worked well enough for me.
I'd like to believe that I get my best ideas while I'm thoroughly hammered. Not everyone might agree, but they can't really do anything about it, can they? With a fuck ton of money comes great power, sometimes responsibility. Spider-Man reference. And with that responsibility comes a lot of reasons to get drunk. Of course, I can just tell responsibility to sod off if I was feeling reckless, and Christ, I must be really drunk if I'm thinking in circles. I just need something to focus on, and I should be fine.
How is she? Is she alright?
Oh, his voice. If panic crept into my voice at the question, I don't let it show. It would be a show of weakness to be so frazzled, to show so much concern over a woman who is going to put me aside. Oh, what? No, it's not weakness. As a child, I had many. Now, as an adult, not really. That's true, that's true. I'm guessing people call you Ruth still. People like him who work for me, I trust with business, but not with myself. Never with that. Only Hannah has come so close. Hannah, not Hannah. I'm not British. Only she has truly seen the man beneath the facade. Only her actions can wound me so.
Sleeping. Aside from a few bumps and bruises, she seems to be fine. A maid is watching over her for now. It is best not to leave her alone. But, if I may ask, what happened? I was in the gardens when I heard screaming. Did you...
No, it wasn't me.
I've been accused. I'm quick to be on the defensive. I may be capable of a lot of horrible things, but I would never harm her. Of all people, no matter how angry I might become, I would never lay a hand on her to hurt her.
I didn't do anything. I wouldn't do anything like that. I don't even have a reason to.
You don't consider her wanting to be a part as reason?
It isn't. Well, it is. I don't want to talk about it right now. But what happens was I got home. She was seasoned in the kitchens. Is she ill?
Not that kind of doctor. But I've already scheduled your physician for a house call tomorrow morning.
Oh, that's nice.
We'll still have to monitor her as soon as she wakes up and...
Oh god, things are coming back to me. I need a drink.
Really? You're still drinking?
Why, yes, it seems to be the bloody best time to be drinking. I'm allowed, aren't I?
Not
After
really.
all, I've just found my wife having a seizure, and I shouldn't give two shits about it. Not when she's about to leave me.
But I do. Goodness, I do. A big generous gulp. Ooh, achievement. I got an achievement called Smash Drunk. Oh my god. Wow. Alright. A big generous gulp just makes it so that the taste of cherries, raspberries, and strawberries wash over my tongue. Yum. The thing too sweet considering its deceptively earthy aroma. A Velnay's Vineyard, seasoned red, isn't really something to scoff at. I've had many good memories with this particular drink. Oh man, I would like to try some, actually. This particular bottle, in fact, was a gift. It serves the purpose Lady Blair Knott had given it to me for to forget. All the same, whether I took this bottle or Pinot Noir, I think that's how it's pronounced, I'm not too sure. It is just a means to an end. I will probably have to finish the whole bottle to get drunker than I already am.
But no, she doesn't need to be taken care of. If she wants her time apart, she'll have it.
It'll break my heart to just let her go, but she deserves this much, doesn't she? We both deserve this much.
She's had her uses.
She's done a lot for me in the 7 years we've been together. I pursued her at first for the money. It was supposed to be strictly business. There might have been a time too when I considered taking her out of the picture so that I can do with the money as I pleased. Wow! I'd planned to manipulate her, and I feel horrible thinking about it. But along the way, I'd changed, if only for her. Perhaps my father would scoff, tell me I've gone soft. Maybe I have. Doesn't matter. 7 long years. It had its ups and downs, and it certainly hasn't been a perfect marriage. We had our fights, who hasn't? But those small moments where we could just laugh and be our happy selves were always magical. They made all these years worth it, and I had seen many more years to come. So where did I go wrong? I've loved only 2 women in my life. Mother dear, bless her soul, and Hannah, who has been my sunshine for so long. Losing her, I fear that I might become more like my father. Had Damien Wright stayed with Mother or any of the other numerous women he's had a child with, would he have been less of an embittered shell of a man? Would having a darling love in his life made him a better person? Perhaps it is biased of me to do so. I don't think I can ever see the old man in a favorable light.
I'm just surprised that you're not afraid. She might be leaving with delicate information.
Oh, she might know something. But if she hasn't done anything with the knowledge for this long, I don't think she would do anything now. If she had even an inkling of what I've done, what I'm capable of, she'll know it's not a good idea. Hannah's a smart woman.
Smart, kind, hardworking, generous, loyal. I can go on and wax poetic about her if I had any talent with the stuff.
Why don't you sit down and have a drink with me? Don't worry, it's not poisoned or anything.
Lonely? Oh, I suppose there's no harm.
With a shake of my head, I procure another glass and pour some of the red wine. Watching the red liquid is fascinating all on its own with my muddled brain that I barely noticed sloshing some of it and staining my suit. Oh my god, we're so sloshed. It'll be an utter bugger to clean, so I'm glad that it isn't my problem. Oh no, poor Johans. Handing it over, I can't help but look up at the ceiling and let out a sigh. My eyes damp, glaze over though. I won't let it go further than that. Oh, are we crying? Raising my own glass for a toast, I clear my throat.
Cheers for something or another. A brat going away to college, a bonus at their job, couples having it off. Those happy things, I suppose. Whatever. I don't give a fuck.
A bit less eloquent than your usual speeches, but zum Wohl.
A sip. A gulp. Refill. Rinse and repeat until the bottle of Velner has barely a fifth left. I must have drunk most of it because I barely see Schrocken take a sip after his first glass. It certainly feels that way. I don't even think I can stand up, let alone walk. I'm all legless. My mind just feels so funny and everything else is equally hilarious. Bloody hell, I think I can make out faces of a bald man on the wallpapers, with the butler also standing up. He looks like a skyscraper from where I'm seated.
Jesus Christ, I have Sasquatch as a butler.
We would just as smashed as Marianne. I have a great alcohol tolerance, so this, seeing how I'm a giggling wreck right now, is, I assume, really bad. If there is any sober part of left to me, it'll probably shrivel up and die just thinking of the hangover that'll come in the morning. But I can't help but get distracted at the sight of moonlight peeking through the curtains, shiny and shimmery and absolutely splendid. Even if the night brought calm, it is the moon that always enamored me so. It is a second sun, but just as beautiful as my sunshine.
I want to go out and look at the moon. Mummy, I can't feel my legs.
Mutter, I am not. Don't tell me I have to carry you upstairs to bed.
Yeah, you do.
Mint got me a bit into the whiskey, but other than that, I've been trying real hard. You can vouch for me, right, Joe?
Oh, gosh.
I haven't put my hands on a pretty lady unless they ask me to. Not that I did that before, but you get my point, Joe.
Oh my god, spanking.
If Marianne has anything to do with this, I swear I told her she shouldn't mess with me. I'll bite her hand. Hannah must be so tired. I'm a brat, aren't I? She said as such.
Yep.
I don't want Hannah to leave me, Joe. Oh God, she's the love of my life, you know? I'm a shy human being without her. I should... Flowers. Lots and lots of flowers.
Oh my God.
All of the flowers. Enough to make the Queen's Gardens look like a fucking dumpster fire in comparison.
All well and good, but you are not achieving any of that while you are lying on the carpet. Now, if you can lift your skinny ass and work with me. 1, 2, 3.
But I don't want to go to bed. The moon is so pretty tonight.
I should just let you sleep on the ground, Bratwurst.
Oh my goodness.
Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty face from day to day.
Is this Luke as a kid?
Come on, Mummy, wake up. I want to be in that play. Mummy, wake up. You promised that you'd help me practice my lines today. The auditions are tomorrow, so I have to practice. The last syllables of recorded time, and all our yesterdays have lighted fools. The way to Dusty. Mummy, are you...
I choke back a scream and wake up in cold sweat. With my heart pounding in my ears, it takes a while to remember where I am. In the dark and cold of the room, one can't fault me for feeling ill at ease. It isn't as bright as the penthouse, and the renovations did little to change how old it feels. We've been here for less than a week. It'll take a bit more time to adjust. Did he sleep in his suit? It's hard to feel cozy though, when I'm bloody freezing. Nudging the lamp of fabric next to me, I sigh.
It's cold. Don't hug the sheets, Hannah.
Wait, weren't we supposed to be sleeping in different beds? She always did this though, it hardly bothers me. Growing up, I was lucky to have something to use as a mattress. I'm not the one who grew up accustomed to Egyptian cotton with a thread count of 800. Damn! Well then again, you could get thread counts of up to 1,000, maybe more. Besides, the warmth that Hannah exudes on her own is usually enough to keep me sleeping through the night. The temperature tonight must be something else with how chilly it is right now. I must be considerate. After all, the poor dear isn't ill, though I loathe to think about what had just transpired.
Don't make me pull those sheets off you. That blanket is large enough to cover an elephant. You need to share.
It takes a while.
What was that, honey? Apologies. I'm just in the loo, so if you can give me a moment.
What? There's no sign that they'll be moving where they lie. With care, I go for a knife hidden under the side of my bed. It would be foolish of me to instigate anything while I'm unarmed after all. Then who's in the bed? To pull back the covers would be a more difficult affair. Where'd you get the knife? Because reaching out to uncover who was underneath, I have to prepare for anything and assume the worst. If I so much as see the nozzle of a gun, there's going to be a murder tonight. I know they say not to bring a knife to a gunfight, but I think I can sink a blade in his liver faster than he can point and aim. I see the rise and fall of the sheets, though it could easily be mistaken as the fault of the breeze. I hear their breathing. A great sense of foreboding comes over me, making me hesitate with my plan. I should just get Hannah and myself out of here. Yup! Not look back and let security handle it. That's what they're here there for. Or maybe I should just man up. There's no way I'm risking the chance that inaction will put Hannah in danger. But what's the worst that could happen, right? I've no reason to be afraid. There's no boogeymen under the bed, no monsters in my closet. If anything, these things should be afraid of me, right? I grab a fistful of sheets and throw them aside. Oh, I see eyes. I see an eye. I'm pretty sure I saw an eye. Oh man. Nothing. Nothing but a bunch of pillows stare back at me. Must be my imagination. I'd rather not think I'm going mad. You ain't. You really ain't. It could very well be the stress getting to me, or this drama with Hannah. I've been doing well all these years, all things considered. I guess I do have a breaking point, but still, the world goes on, even if one cannot, and I must go along with it. I suppose a day or two tomorrow wouldn't hurt. Rest aside from a few hours of sleep will be welcome, more than. But I can't shake off the unease. I dare say that I feel afraid, irrationally so, that something will come creeping and crawling from under the bed, even as I lay back down and close my eyes. October 30th, Sunday. Oh, it's already October 30? Damn. The odd dreams don't linger, thankfully, but with the morning comes another disturbance, both too loud and too sharp for my tastes, and I have very fine taste. Oh, is this the part where Zachary came to our place in the morning to warn us? When the piercing rings of a doorbell reaches even the bedroom, I'm very much inclined to think the person who built this place lacks any sense of it. Perhaps the only thing good in this is that the ruckus has chased away the needling guilt from last night's commotion, if only temporarily. Still, it's a bloody annoying distraction. I can tell that it is going to be a long day. It hasn't even started. Before the racket even lasts another minute, I'm peeling myself off the bed and heading straight for the main door. There will be a murder today if this doesn't let up. How quaint. It seems everything in this blasted universe is intent on getting on my nerves as of late.
Gordon Bennett! Only a Nancy would knock at such an ungodly hour!
Yep, it's definitely Zach. In the first place, I shouldn't be the one doing this. This is why I hired a valet, for fuck's sake.
Where's that damn butler when I need him?
I'll be honest, if only for today. With the mansion this quiet, at this hour of the morning, it's easy to believe those little ghost stories might be real. But the only horror here is how long Hannah's patience with me will last after the incident at the party. Neither the deafening silence nor the biting chills spreading across every room in the place. There's no place for fear when another set of problems already burns that fuel, so I wait another second. When no butler still answers my call, I simply yank the doors open myself, perhaps with more force than needed. And maybe it should be appropriately there, considering the person on the other side and the hour he dared appeared on my doorstep. Even someone with half a brain knows not to disturb anyone this early. A brief confusion quickly gives way to anger, and before the bloody photographer can even get a word in, I'm hurling venom at him. It's less than he deserves, really. Hannah would disapprove. Scold me for treating the photographer with such disrespect if she hears me right now. She seems fond of him after all, despite meeting him only once or twice. He's merely doing his job, she'll say. But she's not here, isn't she? What she doesn't know.
You? How the hell did you get in here? What in seven hells do you want? It's bloody 6 in the morning!
Oof.
Listen, sir, I know this is not a good time.
Oh, it's not a good time! Did you even check the clock before coming here? I bet you didn't!
This is still my home. My rules also apply to this place as much as Hannah's do. As simple as that.
Unlike you, the ones living in this house need to sleep.
It just so happens, it's also a person I will never take a liking to. No need for remorse.
Come back when people are actually awake, or I'll call security on you.
He continues shouting, even as I slam the door in his face. Some nonsense about the news lately, though I don't understand most of it. Oh man, he's telling us this place is haunted. We should really listen to him. However, with the closed doors muffling the better part of it, and with no ears to listen, his tirade doesn't last too long. Eventually he leaves and silence once again fills the room as it should. In hindsight, maybe I should also call for psychiatric services. He certainly sounds mental just screaming like that. A suspicious man like him left roaming the immediate grounds, nothing good can come of it. But if his presence will indeed bring a problem, a sign of bad things to come, I'll probably know soon enough. Worst comes to worst, Strocken will take care of it, if need be. It's what I'm paying him for. In the meantime, the bigger problem at hand, a hangover. Maybe I'll have some absinthe to temper it, dog hairs, or some wine to help me get back to sleep. It's still early. 1 glass won't hurt. What? No, it's early. That's why you shouldn't even have a drink. Or two. Oh my god. Wow, Luke. Whatever the case, I need to think. Wherever that will lead me to. It's nothing. Everything leads to nothing, except for this pounding headache, as if my mind will burst at any time and leak out of my ears. My vision swims in and out of view. My stomach threatens rebellion with plans of making me throw up what little food I've taken in, with how my mouth feels like it's filled with cotton. One would think that the fact that I'm hungover would make me the grumpiest person in the room, but as it is, my eyes move over to Hannah, who is stirring sugar into her tea and scowling down at it, all the while as if it has just murdered a baby in front of her. I have half the mind to bemoan my current state and make a fool of myself just to make her smile. And I'm rather good at bemoaning. Not that I would admit it. Why, I'm already adopting the posture of a whiny teenager as I speak, slouched forward with a cheek on the table.
Oh, I'm dying. Oh, God, I'm dying. Hannah! Johans, call an ambulance, please.
Oh my
Let it
God.
be known that I leave all my belongings to Hannah right near Evans. Everything but 30,000 quid. But oh, I see a bright light. I see a farm. Mother dearest, is that you? Little Lucille is on his way home.
Hey,
I'm so sorry, but I must leave you, Hannah. Cover my face. Your eyes dazzle. I die young.
Oh, Luke. That much I can manage through the hangover. A thing entirely of my fault, considering I've twice drunk the night before. Another thing I will never admit. Really, it's a miracle I haven't acquired alcohol poisoning
Oh,
yet.
stop being so melodramatic, Luke. Besides, you never lived in a farm. You hate farms. We are not bringing you to the hospital for a hangover. Really. One would think you'd be used to it by now with how stubborn you are about your drinks.
He is dramatic.
Dare
I love it.
I ask what the 30,000 quid is for, though?
It puts a small smile from her for a moment, but the pinched look on her face returns quickly
He lost a
enough.
bet with Robert and Elise after a night of drinking at the Crawl. 10,000 each, and another 10 to me.
Ah, the sneer that makes its way on my face doesn't hold as much heat as it usually does. It's just a bit of friendly ribbing. Though I still wish he wouldn't tattle. Of course, it was my fault for mentioning the money. It wasn't like anyone would notice 30 grand missing from millions, though. Wow, that's how much I spend on a normal weekend. What would you even spend 30 grand on in just a weekend? That's insane.
Oh, must you be such a teacher's pet? I told you not to talk about it.
I'm having second thoughts about moving to the penthouse. If this is what you do when I'm not looking.
I've almost forgotten about that little arrangement too. Shame. Hopefully, that's the reason why she's so intent on glaring at the table until its varnish peels off. The alternative would be sobering.
It was that one time. I'm not a child in need of minding or mother hens. As much as I'd love for you to stay, you said you need some time to yourself. Don't let the fact that I lost a bet once make you think I have to be supervised.
It wasn't. I'm just worried about you, Luke. I'd be less so if you actually sat up.
Why are you worried about me? I'm more concerned about what your doctor told you. How did the house call go?
Oh yeah. I didn't want to intrude on her privacy when the doctor arrived, a ridiculous sentiment considering I am still her husband. But it wasn't like I could have done any good being there, what with nursing a hangover and all. However, part of me feared what would be said, not to mention I trust Hannah would tell me if it is something serious. Of course, it probably is something bad, and I would be a fool to hope otherwise. I found her having a seizure, for goodness sake. I should have rushed her to the hospital as soon as she awoke, but it was her insistence that kept me at bay. A cup of tea finds itself in my hands, an attempt to appease me, no doubt, but I don't bother to drink, let alone look up. If anything, I just press my forehead on the table and hide the childish pout on my lips. Not that this is any better.
It was fine. The physician took some of my blood, and he scheduled me for a few lab tests tomorrow morning. I've already called for a driver and attendant to accompany me, so there's no need for you to worry.
And what? You'll just be leaving me behind then? And I don't think you should be going anywhere alone.
You hate hospitals even more than you hate farms, Luke. And Kylie's coming for your play date tomorrow, remember? Relax. I'm taking Johans with me if it makes you feel better.
Oh, good old
Dr.
Johannes.
Hobbs asked that I keep her under observation for the time being. Naturally, I'll be reporting my findings at the hospital.
Sitting up, I run a finger over the rim of my teacup and mull it over. I do hate the bloody place. I thought hiring Shrocken would have been enough for me to avoid the place. Apparently not. Bloody doctors and bloody sick people. I don't want to catch anything contagious. I can't even tell crying people to shut up if they get too annoying, respecting the grief my ass. Save for a life and death situation, I'd rather avoid the mass grave that hid beneath the sterile air and white tiles.
I guess you two can go without me. But I can't believe how naturally you two conspire behind my back. Don't expect my help if those bloody doctors bleed you two dry. Vampires, every single one of them. Not as bad as lawyers and politicians, but close enough.
What? We're as
You
bad.
know Carly will be upset when she finds out you're not here tomorrow. Again.
She'll be happy enough to spend time with her fairy godfather, I'm sure. You're a good role model for her, despite your whining.
No matter how many times Hannah claims that whining is unbecoming of me, I never listen. It's not like anyone that matters is here to judge. Well, it's not like anyone else actually matters. I'll whine if I bloody well want to, and I'll be no lesser because of it. Of course, I will not tolerate another person's whining. Wow. Except perhaps for Hannah, but she hardly ever does that. Even right now, I can see as a look of pain passes on her face and her hand goes to her stomach. Yet she keeps quiet, not bringing it up or complaining. Yeah, see, Hannah's not a whiner. Only we are. What should I do? Should I call for an ambulance? Lord knows we can afford it. Or ask if she's alright? What should we do, guys? What do you guys reckon we should do? It's up to you guys. I think there is a good option here. Let's see, Hannah. Ooh, we're really good Rebecca. We're really bad with Marianne. And we're okay with Hannah. So, what do you guys think we should do? Type in number 1 if you want to call for an ambulance, or number 2, ask if she's alright. I'm gonna guess what she's doing right now is that I think she's just having morning sickness because she's preggers. Alright, let's ask if she's alright. I see a number 2. Let's do it, Ruth.
Are you alright? Should we be concerned? Maybe we should bring you to the hospital now.
Ooh, that was a great choice.
I just feel a little queasy, that's all. A bit more tea in me, maybe some more sleep, and I'll be right as rain.
I've spent a lot of time around people who lie for a living, and I can't help but feel that there's more to it than just that. Maybe it is just as she says, and I'm overthinking it, but I trust Hannah will fess up before things can get any worse. She's never really lied to me before, nothing big at least.
If you're sure, I'm just worried. You'll tell me if anything is wrong, right? You do know you can still trust me. That I do still care about you.
Aww.
I know that, I'm just going to be moving out soon. Even if it is for a short while, you won't always be there for me.
Did you finish packing before you... I understand if you haven't, and I won't blame you if you've changed your mind after what happened. You can stay until you feel better.
I'm still moving. It isn't like you can't visit to check up on me. Although that does somewhat defeat the point.
It does.
Luke, I'm a big girl. I'm going to get a checkup tomorrow, take whatever pills they tell me to get, and get over it. You really don't need to worry. I'm fine.
Yeah? Oh, I do so hate those words. I hide my scowl by taking a sip of tea, fighting off the urge to hurl the cup at the wall. I'm fine, she says, a lie. Apparently, the sour disposition I have, one not entirely born from my hangover, is still obvious. Without saying a word, Hannah puts her hand on mine and squeezes it tight. Her hands are cold and clammy, her grip is weak. I can see the small tremors that run along her shoulders and the paleness of her cheeks. She has yet to recover from what happened to her. She's not fine. And I'm not either.
Fine. I don't need to like it, but fine.
I don't think either of us really like it. But I do think it is for the best.
Perhaps we should bring you back to bed. The sooner you are off your feet, the better.
Is that some sort of roundabout way of saying that you want to sweep me off my feet and take me to bed?
Oh yeah.
This isn't our honeymoon. I need rest, mister.
I am aware that this is the farthest thing from our honeymoon. This isn't how things are supposed to be. Hannah isn't supposed to leave. I'm not supposed to let her. And if she ever did leave, it's supposed to be on my terms. Everything is going wrong, but I respect her enough to let her have her space, as she so puts it. If divorce is brought up, however, well, that's another matter entirely.
Really now, you shouldn't have gotten up in the first place. Breakfast in bed exists for a reason. Come on then, back to bed you go.
Are you going to carry me to bed then?
Can we?
You're far too heavy for that. Johans could carry you, if you'd like.
Can you blame me if I enjoy food too much? I can walk, thank you very much.
I don't say a word as she clutches my arm to steady herself. There's no protest as she uses me as a crutch while going up the stairs, but that's as far as I want to go. Judging by the light blush on Hannah's face, she's gotten self-conscious about it too.
Johans, look after her, and you stay in bed. I just need to go out.
I'll have plenty of time to be lonely in the mansion by myself when Hannah moves out. For now, I can go and stretch my legs, fresh air, all that. Breathe. Grey skies loom over in the horizon, though the sun fights for every precious minute it gets to stay. It'll rain again soon, with the wind bringing along the gloomy clouds normal to Luxbourne. Until then, it doesn't hurt to be out here for fresh air and sunshine. I walk to the gardens, what little of there is at the moment anyway, and kneel by the daffodils. Oh, he likes daffodils, doesn't he? These were the first to be brought here and planted on my request, and, if nothing else, they brought a sense of peace. They were my mother's favourites. Closing my eyes, I lift my chin to welcome the light that shines upon me. And for a minute, I can imagine myself as one of the flowers, peaceful, blooming, and all too happy to stand in its warmth. Life would be so much easier if we were all flowers, wouldn't it? But I didn't step out here to get all philosophical. I have problems much more practical than figuring out the meaning of life, after all. Too many things have gone on these past few days, and I want to forget about them even for just a moment.
It's almost All Saints, isn't it? To think I've almost forgotten.
I speak the words absent-mindedly. The date means nothing to me, as I neither worship the religion nor have any graves to visit. After all, Mother was never given a proper burial, but it's a date as good as any for me to grieve. Otherwise, I would have done so every single day, crippling myself and shutting everyone else out. I can remember how the flames licked at her flesh and how it consumed her body until there was nothing left but ash. I stood there watching with the operator and a social service worker, though I could have been alone for all I cared. Oh wow, I felt alone. It was the most that could be done. No one would attend the funeral of the dead prostitute, let alone pay for it. All that is left of her, proof that she had lived, is her name written in the ledger of Luxbourne Cemetery, a lighter and me. Pulling out the lighter from my jacket, I can't stop myself from flicking it open to stare at the flame and run my thumb over her name. Eleanor. Oh wow, I wonder what happened. All in all, it isn't much, but it's something. And it'll be wrong of me not to make something of myself when she would have given everything to make sure I can become anything I want to be.
Feels like I'm stuck in a nightmare right now. What I would give to have you here by my side, Mother dear. To see you smiling at me. Alive and as beautiful as ever. I'm afraid I'm starting to forget what your face looks like. I've already forgotten the shade of your hair.
Eleanor Chandler was a wonderful woman, though not everyone would have agreed. Not everyone had seen past her occupation, past her vices, and her illness. All they saw was a poor woman who sold her body to make ends meet and had a bastard son because of it. They didn't see the mother who worked hard to put food on the table for me, the woman who gave and gave and gave to me while expecting nothing in return. She taught me the merits of hard work, but though I loved her so, I worked hard for myself. I would not be so foolish, so selfless towards people who would never give back. I learned that from the father who plucked me out of an orphanage for his own selfish gain. I pocket the lighter before I can feel the urge to actually set anything ablaze. Considering my close proximity to the flowers, they would be the most likely victim of arson. Just the thought itself is blasphemous. Nevertheless, that doesn't save them from being picked just enough to make a bouquet of the things in honor of Eleanor.
Would you be proud of me if you saw me now, Mother? Maybe. You're always so forgiving. No matter what trouble I got into, more than I deserved. Especially now.
It's been a while since I've talked to my mother like this. I've been thinking of both my dear parents far too much as of late, when I shouldn't. I have a future to look forward to, and the present to take care of. These memories of the past give me nothing but grief. The life of Lucille Mitchell Chandler should be nothing but a footnote in Luke Wright's non-existent autobiography. It's because of Hannah, isn't it? I worry that she is all too much like mother, that it scares me, and the thought that I'm turning into my father is even more so. But even if history is so set to repeat itself, I'm not a child anymore, content to sit aside, unable to do anything to help, and too inexperienced to think that the worst wouldn't happen. I have money to buy the best medicines and doctors if need be. She'll get better, she has to. And once we get over this little bump in the road, I can stop worrying. All will be right with the world. Unfortunately, my time alone is cut short though.
I think those flowers look beautiful, my lord.
Is that
The
Isabella?
parlor, the room where the lady stays for her tea. It could certainly use some.
The voice is not familiar, though I'm not really one to remember such things. It sounds like Isabella. Going with her attire, I would say that she's one of the housekeepers. Strange, considering I've sent all of the staff but Johann's away. And her face, as pretty as it is unfamiliar to me. It would be a lie if I said that it didn't set me on edge. Most would say that I cared little for my employees. Sorry, I think I'm choking on my own saliva. Let me have a quick sip of water. Who is this? That isn't entirely untrue. However, I'd like to think I know the people who work for me, especially those who would roam my home, even if it's just a face and a name. Besides, I would remember a beauty such as her. So, who is this? If she is someone impersonating a household staff to get in, she's doing a bad job of it.
Didn't you get the memo? Are you new? Today is a day off. You aren't supposed to be here.
I expect poor excuses and apologies the likes of her often give, but she merely smiles.
Oh, no. I've been a servant here since you first came.
Is this? Oh my god! I think I know who this is. Wait, do you guys know who it is? And I see no signs of lying, nor hear it in her words, yet they can't be true. But I find that I feel like I can relax. She has that sort of smile that makes one's kindness shine through without words or action. It reaches my eyes, filling them with a strange sort of mirth, as if she's just thought of something very funny. Perhaps, had it been any other person, I would have interrupted it as a deceitful grin. But the curl of her lips and the shine of her eyes are too soft to hold any malice. She takes my silence as a sign that she can continue. And it's not like I feel the urgency to stop her, and I'm not really in the mood for company, but I'm not averse to it at the moment either. I think it is Ruth. I mean, look at the clothes. It looks like it, doesn't it? And the black hair? Entertaining a beauty like her, even for a little while, wouldn't hurt. It helps that she proves easy to listen to, despite how oddly she speaks.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I shouldn't have bothered you. Look at me, talking to the master of the house without even asking for permission. What will the others think? If you'll excuse me, I'll just...
I haven't driven you away yet, have I? And it's your day off. I don't see why we can't chat a bit.
Of course. If that is what you wish. As long as it does not get you into trouble with the lady. To even take time for someone as lowly as me. No wonder that everyone under the mansion's employ is so fond of you. Though it should have no longer been a surprise to me. You have always been such a kind and loving lord.
I have to stop myself from calling her out on her shite. It's almost as she's talking about an entirely different man. No matter how big my ego gets, I know for a fact that I'm hardly in the running for Best Boss of the Year award. The only reason that most of my staff stay is because of the decent compensation. I'm not cheap. But if she wants to lay it on thick, I'll allow it. Who wouldn't want a beautiful woman complimenting them?
I'm sure she'll be fine with this. We are just talking after all. Unless you had other things on your mind when you approached me.
Oh my god, Luke. The words leave my mouth before I even realize what I've said. I panic a bit. Though I can get away with picking up women out in the city, sometimes even out of the country, I've always taken care not to do so in my home or in my business. Not when it'll be so easy for Hannah to find out about my infidelity through these channels. Though, seriously, I still don't see what the big deal about it is. I just have an itch I need to scratch.
I know it must be amusing to see a girl flustered for a man of your stature. But please don't say such things, my lord. I saw you alone and simply thought you could use some company.
Thankfully, I do not count my lucky stars. It seems the woman takes it as a joke rather than the casual pass it was intended to be.
So how are you liking your work around the mansion? The place is wonderful, but I imagine the upkeep is ungodly with all the rooms and whatnot. I don't even want to think about how many people are on the staff roster.
Work is work, my lord. It is a way of living, a purpose from day to day. It is certainly far better than doing nothing or having no food to eat. The house itself is also beautiful. There's no lack of things to look at. I'm sure you've seen those books in the study. I can't read any of them yet, but if given the chance, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be thinking of those things. Especially when the rains, they might bring more work to us soon. It will definitely be much more difficult when it returns. Idling about is the least I should be doing.
Oh
I
boy.
guess you can put it that way if you want to be brutally honest about the whole thing. And the rain shouldn't be a problem. Hopefully. Maybe.
If a little dreary, at least she doesn't beat around the bush. I like the honesty. Many would bemoan this status as a household staff, as a janitor or other menial role, and believe themselves to be greater things. But I would not begrudge the idea that one can always get better. But one shouldn't be so discontent with what they have either.
The rain is something I simply must get accustomed to if I am to live here. I've not spent long in this place after all.
It really rains in England.
But I have been told that it has rained in this nation since a mother's time and their mother's time. There is little we can do about it. I am just glad to have time in the sun, even for a short while.
Isn't that the truth? Really, these sunny days have been welcome, though I can't imagine they'll last for long. Sometimes I just want to pack my things and leave for somewhere like, say, the Bahamas or whatnot. Get some sun and surf.
But
He
certainly,
surfs?
you will return for us, won't you? This is your home, after all. Your people. They won't be pleased if the master of the house leaves.
Uh-oh.
Of course, I can't very well leave my businesses hanging here, can I? I just wish I could actually trust people enough to go on vacation without taking work with me. I've also got to get back here if I ever want proper meals. A proper pudding is something you'll never find out there.
The woman nods in understanding, and I must say that she makes for a fine listening ear. Though what she says next gives me pause, whether she meant for me to hear it or not.
And good tea. From what the cook has been telling me, I've yet learned how to prepare one. Perhaps once I do, it would endear the lady of the house to me. I never expected her to be so unkind after what she did for me. Though it's only if one catches her in a foul mood. I wish I knew how to avoid her anger.
Uh-oh, what? I highly doubt she means Hannah. That woman rarely has a mean bone in her body. And when she actually is nasty towards someone else, it's usually deserving enough, much like with that Rochelle woman. Hell, she even tolerates Harvey for me. Who's Harvey? Was it Harvey Lee? Even if she did admit that she doesn't quite like the man. Okay, I think it was Officer Lee. So Officer Lee's Harvey. She must mean the head housemaid, right? I have to laugh at that. Not that I have room to speak, I don't deal with her myself anymore, though even Johans has a few choice words about the head hag. I don't think she's talking about the head maid. I think she's talking about the previous Ermengarde lady. She's just been under the right employ when she was also head of housemaid for my father. And if anyone's not going to get along with someone, it'd be that crotchety old woman. I don't even remember her name, but the woman had been this strict upstart bitch who took one look at me, her master's bastard son, and turned her nose up as if she were better by mere consequence of birth. That, and she absolutely loathed my existence. Perhaps the rumors had been true. She had a miscarriage while bearing another one of dearest father's children, and she saw me an obstacle to her being granted a better standing in life. I remember that much at least. Oh. The only reason I haven't sacked her yet is because of her competence. Also, because working under my household makes her absolutely miserable, her resignation made impossible by her pride.
Nobody really gets along with that woman. I think everyone just tolerates her because of how old she is. I mean, not to be rude or awful or anything, but she's at the age where she'll be pushing Daisy soon enough.
Oh my
Is
god.
she? Really, my lord? I'm sure the lady is much younger than that.
I think the thought of tormenting the young and beautiful gives her reason to live.
It does seem that way. Though I feel sorry for her. One's life should not be wasted away on hatred and anger. It is never good for the heart or the head to always carry ill thoughts. But at the least, you are here for us. We are certainly so lucky to have a lord like you. The lady even more so. The gods smile down on her. Though, if I may be honest,
Oh.
she is to be envied.
Oh. Even when I have my suspicions about her, she's just so easy to talk with that I've forgotten. I don't know who she is, and if she's actually one of the household staff, that would explain why she would so easily give obviously wrong statements about my character. Though, if she is here for malicious reasons, she would have done more than do small talk with me by now, wouldn't she? I have so many questions. Perhaps curiosity will kill this cat.
It's strange that I've never seen you before. What's your name?
What's your
You
name?
do not remember?
I don't believe you've mentioned it, or am I missing something?
You still cannot comprehend it. Can you, my lord?
What? Her answer chips away at the good mood I'm starting to get into. I have every right to be angry at the cryptic response. She threatens insubordination with her very presence alone. But instead of hurling vitriol at the woman, I take a deep breath. I do not want my mood ruined further than it already is. Not right now when I can get my temper take its course another time.
Whatever your name is, and no matter how long you've been working for us, that does not change the fact that you shouldn't be here. I'll call you a cab to bring you to the city if you want.
Aw.
Shouldn't I? What if I do not wish to leave? I merely desire to stay by your side and serve. Is that such a deplorable thing?
Uh-oh. Her gaze sends chills down my spine. It's too easy to see the devotion, the obsession in her eyes. Not the good sort either, as her scrutiny makes me feel like I'm laid bare. The offness of her presence is all the more palatable with the feeling of bugs crawling on my skin and the silence that makes it seem as if the world had stopped. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the ghost. Any friendly atmosphere we might have had going for us is completely forgotten. Danger. A small part in the back of my mind screams, the part that has kept me alive all these years. And in hindsight, I'd be stupid not to take heed of it. But I've grown arrogant, complacent, and content to hide behind wealth and power.
Yes, it's a deplorable thing, as you said, because I'd like to be alone now. Thank you very much. If you didn't want the day off, you should have reported to your superior. This is utterly unprofessional of you, and I shall be issuing complaints. In fact, if you know it's good for you, you should start looking for another employer.
Ugh. It's at my threat that the smile on her face turns tight.
I see. It escapes you still. This is unfortunate. How despairing that this misery must go on.
What?
But maybe, if you come with me, I can help you. I can...
When she reaches out for me, I recoil with a hiss.
How dare you lay your filthy hands on me without my permission? I am not going anywhere with you. Now step back and walk away before I have you forcibly removed.
Oh boy. Yep, knew it. Called it. Fucking called it. As if a switch had been flipped, the woman's expression turns horrific, although that may very well be the understatement of the century. She herself turns horrific. Her presence is suffocating, bearing down on me. I'm rooted on the spot, though no fault of my own, as my fear paralyzes.
You are too much like that vile woman, poisoned by her rotten influence and her filthy words. But that can be remedied now that you're here. Oh, how we have waited to welcome you home.
Who's we?
Come, my lord. The house beckons.
When her fingers grasp the back of my coat, I finally find it in me to break off into a run. I can still feel her eyes on me as I run back to the house. What? No! You should get the hell out of there, like get to the city or something. But I refuse to acknowledge it, let alone look back. All I need is to get away from her and to make sure she stays away. If that means acting like a coward and seeking out company to keep me safe, nobody can tell me to do otherwise. Bravery isn't something to be lauded if it comes along with stupidity. It must have been a sight to see the usually composed and reserved Luke Wright bursting through the doors. Is it night time already? Not that I have much of an audience unless there are other staff members who've chosen to disregard my orders for them to leave. Really, I still doubt that woman is one of the staff. Mustering up the courage, I look back through the windows to see if she followed me. She's gone. But I don't take any chances, putting as much distance as I can between us. Stopping to catch my breath, Johan's sudden appearance nearly makes me jump out of my skin. Oh my god, it is nighttime already.
Don't fucking do that! You son of a bitch! If I had a gun, I would have shot you!
If I had any love left for my mutter, I'd take offense. But what happened to you? You look like you've seen a ghost.
Yup. Oh, if only it was such a delusion. But I can still feel her sharp nails digging into my back. The feeling was too real for it to have been a ghost.
There was his housekeeper. I think, I'm not sure. In the gardens. She was acting odd and I thought to remove myself from the scene.
Strange. I made sure the rest of the staff had left and that the house was empty, as you requested. Describe this woman.
She had pale skin, dark eyes, and long dark hair. She wouldn't give me her name.
Oh, yeah, she didn't. I half expect a name from him. The man knows the staff better than I do, after all. But instead of an answer, he grows quiet. I'm pretty sure that is not a good thing. I'm even more worried when the other man looks me over. I have to protest when he pulls back my collar.
What in the bloody hell are you doing?
Checking for marks. Needle marks, to be exact. We don't have anyone like that among the staff. You could have easily been kidnapped.
A cold feeling settles itself over me at the thought. I've long established my power over the more unsavory characters in Luxembourg, or I thought I did. And the most harm I thought that could come to me would be slander, robbery, or incarceration. Kidnapping? An attempt on my own person? I've forgotten that I'm as human as mortal as any other man, despite my wealth and status.
Fortunately, you look unharmed. But I advise that you be accompanied by trusted individuals at all times from now on. If not me, an assigned guard. I'll be informing them of this soon, as they return from their day in the city.
Already I can feel the energy leave me at the realization of what could have been.
All right. Yes, I suppose we should do that. But I think I'd like to call it a day. I should be safe in bed, yes?
I'll stand guard outside for the night. The madam has been inquiring about you, by the way.
A guard? Any other threat, and he alone would be enough to make me feel safe. But what I saw, whatever it is I saw, would one man be enough?
That's all well and good, but there's something else. That housekeeper, she...
Luke, you're home. I was worried about you.
The grin that I can muster is probably lopsided, forced as I snap my mouth shut to keep myself babbling about witches and monsters, because here I am, standing in the hallway, dirt on my pant leg and sweat dotting my forehead. A far cry from my usually pristine condition. I don't want to worry Hannah. A cough.
What happened to you? You look like you wrestled in the mud and moss, dear. And those flowers. Were you gardening?
What? Oh, these. I didn't realize I still had them.
Ah, I really did not. But there they are, still in my grip, the daffodils I had taken from the garden. Even in the wake of my flight, I had refused to let go of whether I was conscious of it or not.
Shall I put them in a vase?
Should I give them to Hannah or throw them away? What do you think I should do, guys? What should I do with these flowers? I don't know. Like, I don't think this is a big decision. It doesn't feel like a really big decision, but I don't know, could have some relationship prompts in it. So type number 1 if you want to give them to Hannah, or number 2 to throw the daffodils away. What do you guys think? Number 1, give them to Hannah. Alright, let's do it. Perhaps I did it to save face, or maybe a small part of me really had planned to take them for her. Yeah, that was a plus. But, like a young man presenting flowers to a Valentine's, I awkwardly thrust the bouquet in Hannah's direction.
They're for you.
These are lovely, thank you. But aren't these?
For the mother? The surprise is to be expected, and the open-ended question needs little interpretation. I've never given her daffodils before, especially not from ones that I considered mine.
They're for you. Don't make me think that kneeling around in the dirt was a waste of my time.
It's not. It's not. Just. Are you feeling alright? I hope whatever I have isn't contagious.
I'm not sick, Hana. I just got them for you. I thought they'd make you feel better, brighten up the room. I don't need my intentions questioned. The thank you was enough.
And I didn't mean to insinuate anything. But you are right. Thank you, truly, for these.
She takes them from me, then careful not to crush the stems. There is still uncertainty on her face, which endears and annoys me in equal parts, but she does look lovely with them. The very picture of something that should be immortalized in paint. They should be for Mother, but it doesn't matter anymore.
Why don't we turn in for the night? You must be exhausted with all that gardening.
What does a dead woman care for flowers? 31st. Halloween, Monday. I didn't get any sleep, not a single week. I was so busy jumping at every shadow and worrying about... I thought I saw something, but never mind, it's just the curtains. Yep, it's just the curtains over here. I was so busy jumping at every shadow and worrying about waking with a knife in my chest, or not waking at all. Even when Hana awakes, in spite of a mild fever, and goes downstairs for breakfast, I stay in bed, thoughts of poisoned food running in my head. The rain that has started sometime during the night doesn't help the mood. I feel like rain really does help with sleeping though. I like it when it rains and I'm in bed. Okay, maybe it helps just a little. The strange sunny weather has been nice and all, but for it to return as it should be feels like a good sign of things to come. Perhaps things will settle back to normal when the crazy drama that has gone on lately will die down. I would hate to be caught unawares in this rain. And with how it looks outside, it seems that the weather is making up for all the sunny days it's given us with a good old-fashioned downpour. The rhythmic pitter-patter of the rain fills the early morning silence with a steady beat. Thank goodness I don't have to be anywhere in a hurry today. I would hate to be caught unawares in this rain. And with how it looks outside, it seems that the weather is making up for all the sunny days it has given us with a good old-fashioned downpour. Wait, didn't it just say that before? I feel like it said that before. Or did I already say it? Or did I already read that? Deja vu. It does let up within the quarter of an hour. However, a day beginning with a cloud burst like this, locals usually take it as an immediate sign. Luxbourne's abysmal weather is back, likely for good. I hope they did a damn good job of fixing this place because I'd rather not have to deal with any leaky roofs. I don't like the idea that the realty did a horrid patch job on the place. Well, Hana, technically paid millions for this place. It better live up to the price the realty company sold it for. Roof problems aside, she's going to be a definite downer about this as well. She hates the rain, then again, who actually does? What sane person would like it when 9 out of 10 days consist of nothing but dark drab and grey skies and piss water pouring from the heavens? And she was just starting to enjoy the sunlight. I'll have to get up about eventually, that is a given, but I'm not too keen on seeing or talking to Hana before she leaves for the hospital, or eventually in a few days' time. This bloody house, Kylie won't like it if she comes here only to find me in a bad mood. Few would dare rouse me from bed. Being able to keep their jobs is incentive enough. I trust they realize that now is not a good time to force me into anything. Maybe I can get an hour or two of sleep before Suarez drops his brat off the mansion steps. If only. But as always, somebody has to be a buzzkill.
Are you really going to stay in bed all day?
Yep.
What do you want?
You must have been really rattled by what happened yesterday. If you need to talk about it, I am quite qualified in that regard.
Oh, is this like
And you aren't even the slightest bit bothered. Truly. Not even the slightest bit worried.
I was worried. But I realized that it's not my life in danger, is it? My worrying will not help matters. Neither will yours.
Loath as I am to admit it, he is right. Still, it's more frustrating when he doesn't give me the time to concede his point.
I know you two aren't getting along.
Oh, hello, cowboy. Welcome back. We are doing Luke's path, and I think we just met the ghost, but in like a normal kind of form. Nosy bugger.
But you should at least see the madam off before we leave. think of her as a business associate if you must. It would not do to part on bad terms.
Oh, he's right.
It's far too early to deal with your nosiness.
That's none of his business. None of it. If he remembers his place, he'll drop it. I don't want to talk to Hannah. Not now, when I'm so high-strung and paranoid. This whole thing is a bloody mess, with everything going off at once. I'm afraid that, with our troubles, I will misinterpret anything she might say or do. That'll just make the whole thing worse.
Are there any updates about the woman?
Being in the dark has me on edge. Information, any at all, may very well help me in calming down. Oh, I don't think we have any information at all on her, because, it is a ghost.
I've already briefed security about her, and more from the agency will be arriving tonight. But they haven't seen anyone fitting the description.
So you have nothing then? Fat lot of use you guys are. What do I even pay you for? Do me a favor. There's the door. Don't let it hit you on your way out.
Well, there is something. It's about McCulloch.
Though I'll deny it, I do find myself a tiny bit interested.
I called her secretary about taking the day off. He hasn't heard from her over the weekend.
Ever consider she might be putting her paycheck to good use? Probably somewhere out there getting drunk, having a shag. Ugh, and I envy her for it.
Oh my god,
As
Luke.
long as she's here for work, what and who she does in her free time is her business.
Hell, maybe she's found another client to sleep with. I'll commend her if that is the case. It's a good way as any to make connections and get business. I would be a hypocrite and a liar if I said I didn't get some of my business that way. Wow. Scratches the itch too.
That's all well and good, but she's not answering her mobile either. Mr. Parker will be filling a missing persons case with the police if she doesn't turn up today.
Okay, interesting as all this is, why bring this to my attention? If we've lost an interior designer, just find someone else to take her place.
If I knew that letting Hannah hire her would bring so much trouble, I would have stopped it at just the sex.
The last anyone has seen of her was here, the morning of the party.
Yep, she's still
Your
downstairs.
housewarming party.
That isn't good news.
It wouldn't do for the police to hear of this, and to suspect.
It's of little import that I can easily prove my innocence. It is all a matter of principle. Because even the accusation of misdemeanor should not stain my reputation. Although, maybe it is a bit too late to hope for a squeaky clean one. Besides, it'll be such a hassle to have police poking about the house looking for a body that doesn't exist.
Now, if we're done here, I'd like to go back to sleep and...
Uh-oh. Seems like it's Kylie. Well, there goes any plan of grabbing some shut-eye, rolling over on my stomach. I can only scream into my pillow.
Of course, of course. Ah.
Oh my god.
Johans, distract her.
Oh, look, it's time for me to go. Have fun with your little play date. So long, farewell, and auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye.
No, Johans, don't you turn away from me. Keep her busy for an hour. Come on.
Oh man, I can really see in my head as a sitcom. Oh man, I love Johans. I have to press my face against the pillow once more to suppress a groan. You just can't get loyal help anymore.
Hello there, little Fraulein. Your uncle is just upstairs and will be down in a moment.
Ah, traitor!
He is super excited to have you today. I hope you're well rested and ready to play a lot.
That bastard. I'll be down in a sec, Munchkin. Let me just...
Change into a fresh shirt, brush my teeth, fix my hair, bemoan my very existence, wish I was anywhere else in the world right now. Don't get me wrong, Kylie is a great kid, wonderful, better than most brats her age, but handling a tyke is the last thing I want on my agenda right now with this whole Hannah business. Fortunately, I am well versed in how the world works. I've long learned that the show must go on, no matter what hurdle comes in my way. So, I set to preparing for the day. Running a comb through my hair is just divine and simply makes me feel more human. Bed hair is disgusting, though it isn't as bad now as it was when I was a child. With how expensive a trip to the barber was, I often had to grow it out until mother had the time to cut it for me. The curls and tangles were simply horrid. Why, I was even mistaken as a little girl because of that. It certainly doesn't help that I was named Lucille. Oh, well, but nowadays you can just put that into a man bun. A freshly pressed shirt is enough to chase away the last signs of sleepiness. The feel of crisp and clean cloth in my hands is a clear marker to the start of the day. Smoothing down my suit and my hair with a sigh, I steel myself for the horrors that come with taking care of a child.
Good morning to you, Luke.
Speak of the devil, and she shall appear. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, Kylie grins up at me as soon as I open the bedroom door. She swings the backpack she's clutching, hitting my leg in a show of impatience and looking entirely unapologetic for it.
Did you just wake up? Don't tell me you forgot. It's our playdate today.
Aww, I doubt I'd forget. Kylie visits are frequent enough thing that they found a way into my schedule. They're supposed to be visits to her godmother, but we can't pick who the child gets along with. So long as I'm not busy, her father can drop her off for the day, which is all well and good for me if it makes Suarez focus on work I've given him. Besides, she's a bright child, tolerable. Kid's got a good head on her shoulders and can get pretty mature for her age at times. Of course, they have to thank me for that. Her parents can take partial credit, but Hannah and I have been there for this kid since she was just a small babe. Why, I can still remember the first time I saw her. It was during her baptism. The only reason I was there was to accompany Hannah, who was to be named godmother. She was such a tiny thing, not even a year old, and swaddled in her mother's arms in white cloth. It was the first time I really saw an infant up close enough to hold one, at least. It had been terrifying to be given a little child to carry after the whole water ceremony. I've never done so before that, to hold a tiny life in my arms. I could have just dropped her on her head and this little tyke before me would have stopped existing then and there. But the child just smiled at me, babbling nonsensical words as children do, and clinging to me even as I tried to hand her off to Hannah. She had thought it hilarious and adorable. My suit had been a mess, and I was nearly an anxious wreck by the time I handed her back to her mother. Yet it was pleasant, too.
Of course I didn't, you little rugrat. I just had to take care of something before you arrived.
Really? Well, I guess that's fine. As long as you told me for work like last time.
Really? Now why don't we go back down and have breakfast in the parlor?
I already ate at home. Papa made one of his tortilla de patatas. He wouldn't let me leave until I finished every bite.
What's a tortilla de patatas? Well, I'm guessing it's a tortilla. So, like, a taco kind of thing? Ah, the Suarez's infamous tortilla de patatas. Those things are a hazard. You can probably use one to bludgeon someone into submission with how huge they are. It's a miracle Kylie can be so energetic. Well, I mean, if she's eating that much, sure. I had trouble staying awake the first time I had one. Speaking of staying awake...
Well, I need some coffee in me at the very least. But if you'd like, you can jump straight to dessert.
Yes! Dessert, please!
Yes, please. It's easy enough to manage Kylie with the promise of sweets, thankfully. The hard part is managing her before she gets the sweets, because I nearly have a heart attack when the kid races down the stairs. Just the thought of her slipping and breaking her neck is enough to make me rush down after her.
Slow down! The food isn't going anywhere.
The food is going somewhere. In my tummy.
Aww.
Jesus fucking Christ. Children.
With a shake of my head, I usher Kylie towards the parlor and order a maid to bring food for us. Whatever breakfast there is, along with a cup of coffee for me and an ice cream for Kylie. But I can't leave the kid alone for too long unless I want to let her turn the other room into a slaughter ground. True to my expectations, I've only left Kylie alone for a few minutes, but she's already made herself comfortable. The stuff from her backpack has been scattered across the room, from coloring books and crayons to toys. Wow, that is a freaky looking doll. She's well equipped to amuse herself with no trouble, though I can certainly breathe a little easier if she won't bring her doll along every time she visits. I know, right? How fucking creepy is that? Narcissa or Cisa is a creepy little bugger. It doesn't help when Kylie left her during one. Finding the thing at the bottom of the stairs, staring up at me at 3 o'clock in the fucking morning is a memory that won't be leaving me anytime soon. Even now it stares at me from where it's seated. I'm wholly tempted to just throw the thing into the fireplace and banish it from whence it came. I can buy her a prettier doll, a better toy. I will break it. Find a way to get rid of it if it wasn't for Hannah and if only Kylie isn't so attached to it. The thing is, some antique doll she found for the brat's 6th birthday, one of a kind. My darling Hannah loves her so, and Kylie does try to be a good goddaughter, but she can't keep her interest long with the wife. It's not something that Hannah does wrong on her part. She does try so very, very hard. It's just that she doesn't quite know how to really handle children. She'd never been around other children when she was young, surrounded by protective adults who catered to her every whim and worried for her safety every minute. When she isn't able to keep up with Kylie, her first instinct is to be strict. Impose rules on the child, treat her as if she is made of spun glass, like every movement might break her. I, at least, have some idea of being around street kids. I know the games they've played and how they think. I know that scraps and skinned knees are all part of childhood. Even with how I grew up, I had time to be a child and not some sheltered heiress. With Kylie, as behaved as she can be with her toys and her books and art, she has to use up all of her energy somehow, and to run around the playground and make a mess in the mud, or to even just fake wrestle for a short while. Let her be a child when she wants, I'll say. If it becomes too much, I'll just bribe her with sweets or ship her back to her papa. Problem solved. Unfortunately, Hannah isn't quite up for those sorts of things most of the time, thinking it'll spoil the child. It turns a whole play date awkward every time. Taking the last seat left, I pluck one of her colouring books from the table to see it filled with dinosaurs. Not exactly what I expect to see from a little girl, but it doesn't hurt anyone. If she wants to play with dolls and cars, or dolls with their cars, what do I care? She once put her dolls' tutus on model cars even.
Oh, this is a new one. The last one you had was filled with horses, wasn't it?
Those were ponies, Tio. They're much cuter than horses. But we went to a dinosaur zoo, and it was awesome! Dinosaurs are my favorite.
I have no idea what that is, but it must be something. I'm only familiar with the T-Rex myself.
Yeah, they found, fossils of its claws. They're really long. They think the whole theory might be a bazillion meters tall, even bigger than a T-Rex. Cisa says it'll be big enough to eat all my classmates.
She only laughs as I scrunch up my nose in grimace.
Takako says you're making a really funny face.
Taka who?
Takako, a friend I made.
I have to stop and look around, expecting one of the help to be there. The child does have a way of befriending just about anyone, as long as she puts her mind to it. Yet the two of us are completely alone. Thankfully, she only finds my disturbed look as another funny grown-up expression. That might be a lot more problematic when she plays with dolls or cars, though. Both the thoughts of Cisa giving Kylie ideas and one of said ideas being massacred by dinosaur, something I probably need to bring up with her father aside from work. But beyond murderous dinosaurs, creepy dolls, and imaginary friends, I find no trouble with Kylie. She's as energetic and precocious as any tyke her age can be. She's an angel if she can get comfy and settled in after getting her sweets. Ooh! Oh my god, wow. Strawberry ice cream with a bit of choc glaze on top, with strawberries, blueberries as well. Oh god, that's with oh man, with a long black coffee. Yes, please. We tuck into our waffles as soon as food is brought in. Our waffles, because she wanted her own plate to go with the ice cream as soon as she saw mine. A fresh plate of berries is brought in as well, which really goes great with the rest of this feast, as Kylie puts it. And if I indulge in the sweetness, I have a cup of black coffee to pair off with it. A little bit of bitter, yum. With our bellies full, Kylie grows content with just scribbling on a scrap of paper and calmly chatting about her week. She talks of her older brother Rowan and her parents, how they plan to go to the Bloxland in Berkshire for the winter holidays. She talks of Miss Pink, and I have to shift my legs to become comfortable once more. Yep, because she hit us. The memory of my initial meeting with her is still fresh on my mind. She talks of the sad man in the park. Oh, the sad man being, Zachary, and her new friend who likes to play hide and seek when she's not sniffling in the loo. Oh, the one sniffling in the loo was Melody, right? Melody? Was Melody the ghost, or was Melody possessed by a ghost? Or maybe Melody wasn't even there from the beginning. When finally she finds nothing new to talk about, she goes back to her drawings. That'll change as her stomach settles, of course, the calm before the storm. Because behaved as she is right now, I can feel the curiosity just radiating off her. There's a restlessness buzzing under her skin, and a question on the tip of the tongue, as they often are with children her age. But for now, I can take this piece with no complaint for however long it stays. I have fun with the crayons as well, at the child's insistence, even if I can't really draw. With Kylie using the black crayon, that leaves me with the blue one. I absent-mindedly start to draw Puppy to the best of my abilities. It's as I attempt to give the doodle dogs another eye that Kylie breaks the silence.
Tio? Where did Tia go? I saw them leave when I got here.
Doctors.
Tia didn't look so good.
I've been expecting a lot of different questions. The kid always has a bunch of them ready for me, but I can only sigh when she posed this particular one.
She's just going to the doctor's for a checkup.
And as kids goes, there are follow-up questions.
And you didn't go with her?
Well, you were going to be here, sweetie, so I had to stay behind.
So she's all alone? At the hospital?
Aw.
Oh, no, of course not. Tia has Johannes and her maid and a guard. She's got plenty of company.
Yeah, but you're not with her.
If I didn't know better, I'd say the kid is trying to make me feel guilty, though I don't know if the bitter taste in my mouth is that or of something else entirely. It's probably the coffee. I really don't have time to process what the emotion is as the brat opens her mouth again.
You should have gone with her to the hospital. Hospitals are scary, you know.
Oh, we're being reprimanded.
Exactly why I didn't go. I don't like hospitals, Kylie. That's all there is to it.
So you're not angry at Tia?
Why would I be angry at her? It isn't her fault she got sick.
I heard you and Tia are fighting. I heard that you might not be together anymore.
I have to stop her there. Sure, it's easy for people to jump to conclusions and presume that we might be fighting, no thanks to Rochelle. But it's not common knowledge that things have gone sour, and, to put it in her terms, that we might not be together anymore.
Oh, well, where did you hear this from?
I heard it from a nice maid lady. But that's still no excuse. Not when she's sick. She needs someone to hold her hand and bring her soup and make her drink medicine.
Maid lady? I'm livid that one of my employees might gossip, and to a child of all people, who says such upsetting things to a child. Oh my god, was it that ghost? But my anger dies out when Kylie starts to tear up. She holds it back in an effort to not seem so childish, I assume. Though I am honestly confused as to why such news would upset her so.
Oh, no. Look, Kylie, there's no need to cry.
I'm not going to cry.
Are you sure? You've got no reason to cry. Even if Hannah and I won't be together anymore, you can still visit me and I can still visit you.
That's not the problem. Why don't you and Tia love each other anymore?
I still love her, Munchkin, and I'd like to think your Tia still does too.
Isn't that the truth? I love her. I'm just total shite at showing it. And a small part of me screams that I was not worthy to be her husband in the first place, no matter how hard I deny it. Perhaps in another time, another place, another me, I would have confessed that the whole world is nothing compared to her.
Well, why are you two fighting? You grown-ups are so stupid sometimes.
I think it is, Ruth. Why? Because I'm a prat, probably. Motioning for her to come closer, I wrap my arms around and rub her back in an attempt to comfort the child. Only when I feel her tears soak into my jacket that I realize that there might be something else to her worries. I've heard Suarez is not getting along too well with his wife as of late because of how busy he is with work. Really, I was wholly tempted to just brush her question off and say that it's a grown-up thing. I could content myself in pretending that this isn't happening, but it seems like she needs to hear this. That just makes it all the more painful to try and explain this, because I have to explain it not only for Kylie, but also for myself.
Sometimes, people fall out of love. Or they think they've fallen out of love and need time apart. It's not necessarily a bad thing. They might be angry at each other, or they might feel sad. They need time for themselves, to think about each other. To know if there is still love. Maybe they'll be back together again. Or maybe it's better for both of them to move on, instead of staying together and hurting each other pretending they still love each other.
Aww, there is nothing final, but here we are, at a crossroads where the wrong step might end in heartbreak. Aww, Hannah thinks we need some time apart, but we aren't done just yet.
But yes, grown-ups can be rather stupid.
You're still gonna be my friend, no matter what, Teal?
Of course, my life would be less exciting without a little brat like you running around and making a mess of it.
Aww. Like, well, I mean, that is true. I mean, yeah, she's a little angel, isn't she? Oh, it's really nice.
And you better stay my friend, even when I get all old and wrinkly.
Kylie's shoulder shakes in laughter as she pulls away and gives me a toothy grin.
Already old!
Aww.
But don't worry, when you die, I'll burn you and put you in a jar so I can keep you forever!
Oh my god!
Just like they did with Abuelo!
My thoughts come to a grinding halt at her words, yet she goes on as if she hasn't just said such an odd thing. Abuelo, like her grandfather was cremated? Was Abuelo grandfather or grandmother? I forgot now. Why, it almost seems like the tyke is looking forward to my funeral. As if there is no confused expression on my face, she pulls me back to our drawings, commenting on the state of my weird dog.
I think your puppy would look better magenta.
I don't think I can spend any more time with Kylie considering how high-strung I feel, so it is a good thing that Suarez came for her as soon as I've called. Though it is earlier than the agreed-upon time, he voices no complaint. The bastard even has a look of relief as soon as they left. I know, right, Kylie? Or at least I interpreted it as such from where I've stood by one of the windows, not bothering to step out and greet the man. No doubt he still doesn't trust me around his spawn. Well, he has every right to be suspicious of me. I am a dangerous man after all, but to my chagrin, that leaves me with the rest of the day with nothing to do. Wait, Suarez, what, is suspicious of us, even though he gave us the title of Godfather? Why? He voices no complaint. The bastard has a look of relief. Oh, okay. Well, aside from picking up the mess Kylie left scattered about in the parlor, to my immense relief, she remembered to take a doll home with her this time. But the same cannot be said of the crayons and papers littered here and there. First things first, I snatch my own doodle off the table and rip it to shreds, leaving no hope that it will see the light of day. Aw, put it on the fridge. The rest of the drawings, all Kylie's, remain unharmed as I collect the lot. Though they have been stacked neatly on the table before, they must have been blown about when I saw Kylie off. And there are plenty of them, from cats and cakes to colourful rainbows and gardens. The child managed to make a lot during her morning here. There is one more that I have to fish out of the fireplace where it landed. Expecting to see another one of Kylie's masterpiece, I am instead greeted with something a bit more concerning. Oh. Oh! Oh! Oh, that's Takako? Oh my, oh, that's Takako. Takako is the ghost? I thought it was, Melody. Oh man, Takako. Oh, she's Japanese. That's why black hair. So the ghost maid is called Takako. Takako. Is that right? Tio, Luke, Kylie, and Takako. Because Takako's haunting us all the time. That's why hand in hand. But why can Kylie see Takako? There is me and there is Kylie, the two of us side by side and smiling as our stick figure selves stand in a nondescript field. That much I can ascertain without looking at the labels below the doodle's feet. But the third figure stands next to me in the drawing. A woman with a face hidden behind a curtain of black. Wow, she's even drawn the blood. Takako, the writing under her supplies.
Takako says you're making a really funny face.
Oh boy, right, she did say that, didn't she?
Taka who?
Takako, a friend I made.
The hairs on the back of my neck stand on end, and I feel a chill go down my spine. She's, standing right behind me, isn't she? A breath. Oh god, that isn't mine. That has me turning around, hoping to see someone, anyone, but nothing. And that's when I hear it. Laughter, sweet and merry laughter ringing from the ballroom. Thinking about it has my cheeks burning and my blood running hot. It's as if I'm being mocked. As I stomp towards the door, I have to stop myself from shouting up a storm. I expect to see some of the help dallying about, idle from the duties. Perhaps they thought they can slack off in the duties without the head butler around, and with my preoccupation with Kylie, well, they had another thing coming. But again, nothing. Nothing from what I can see with a cursory glance, and at the very least, I roam around looking for near impossible hiding places, and still I am all alone. Yet, I can still hear the laughter, that accursed laughter, echoing about in the room, in my head.
Who's there? Show yourselves and show some respect to the master of the house!
Cold uneasiness settles into my stomach when no one answers. I stumble on my own 2 feet, feeling a wave of nausea come from nowhere. I have to put a hand against the wall to stay upright when the world shifts and pain explodes from behind my eyes. It takes every ounce of my self-control to not to heave then and there. The only thing my pride allowed me to do is to close my eyes and attempt to alleviate some of the pain. Vague, unfamiliar images, dare I say memories not mine, flash in my head, unbidden and unwelcome. Like a strong hammer strike to the head, threatening to crack my skull and split it in two. Whatever emotions they hold are muted. I'm nothing but a spectator. Still, its weight feels palpable. Though it doesn't take long for these sensations to get into my head, through my eyes and my ears, it creeps and buzzes in the spaces between. Oh, this is the memory we got when Ash got, well, messed up, should we say. Oh, whispers and accusations fill every crevice of my head, ringing and echoing around like a terrible case of tetanus. They stare, gazes filled with judgment and disgust. Even before the beloved lady has spoken, she's already condemned.
This horrid woman! I beg the court for justice! Who knows what this devil's bride is capable of? She has already bewitched my love, my betrothed. I just cannot bear to think of what she has done to him after. Or what else she may do to our people if we let her live. Blood taints this woman's hands, and I deserve to be repaid in kind for that which she has taken from me.
Taken? There is nothing for her but death, and she knows this. Her silence says as much. One after the other, they come at me, an unending flood that threatens to sweep me away for what feels like an eternity. Each one a show of both joy and suffering for those who have called this mansion their home. Each new scene is like a hammer to the head, threatening to crack my skull and split it in two. I can feel every little emotion in the blurry images that present itself in my head. I feel a part of these, like I've lived through them, though I know that is not possible. All the anger burns through me, that much is evidence, but the pain more so. And above all of it are the whispers, the voices calling, luring, until one image emerges in vivid contrast with the others. Where there's a shout of joy, my eyes snap open looking for the culprit. That's when the whole room just changes. Everything is the same, yet everything isn't. Oh boy. There are people everywhere, laughing and dancing. I should be concerned about them, but my mind finds it easy to dismiss them as they fade in and out from nothingness. Instead, I find my concentration drawn to a man and a woman, though one can only call them a lord and a lady going by their clothes. And, oh, just see how happy the couple looks. Though the man's eyes are eerily blank, like he's not all there. His face is familiar, though. In fact, they both are, but I can't quite place why. The two make for a pretty picture as they dance in the center of the ballroom. Even the phantom's crowd's attention stays on them. It reminds me so much of Hannah and I during the early days of our marriage, the honeymoon years they call it. We were happy then too, all smiles and her sunshine. Even with the normal dreary weather, younger, we had less to worry about, or at least thought that way. I wished we could go on that way, even with all that I did and had to do. But life has a way of catching up. There was work to be done. Although we had to stay the loving, perfect couple in public, I could not afford to look so weak. To appear tied down to someone else, to those who knew who I really am. I had to harden my heart when I have business. But it hadn't always been so easy to just switch that part of me on and off. I should be concerned about the intrusion too. Ask what in bloody hell are they doing in my house, throwing a party as if they owned the place. Ask myself how the fuck I didn't notice what was going on before when the parlor and the foyer are both only a few doors away. There's a horrid feeling of envy, and though I have long accepted that I am a jealous person by nature, I have never felt such a strong feeling as envy as I have now. They were happy with each other, these people, but Hannah and I? Envy turned into anger for something I could not have. But I have the feeling that yelling and screaming at them won't do much of anything anyway. None of the others have given me notice. I realize that this might not even be real. It dawns on me that these two are the people from the paintings, the ones all over the mansion. Which makes sense. I don't think I'm imaginative enough to make all this up on my own. This must be a dream, or a really horrible high. Just then, I can feel eyes on me as I contemplate the absurdity of this situation, yet I find difficulty in trying to tear my eyes away from the two dancing. I manage, and I regret looking away. Ah! The woman from the garden stands beside me. I can hear her rattling breath, menacing and chilling. Everything in me screams to run, but something pins me to the spot as she looks at me, watching and waiting. The clamour of their voices fill the ballroom. Although they say such welcoming words, I do not feel comforted by the madness I'm experiencing. The joyous voices turn sinister and foreboding to my ears. The chorus of people that shouldn't exist, threaten to overwhelm me, drown me, even as I stand on dry land. The music still plays as the Phantom Quartet continues where I stand here, vulnerable and afraid. But the dance has already ended, and I'm afraid that I might just be tonight's entertainment. Attention's all well and good until bollocks like this go down. Is she asking for a dance? These phantom people watch me, thousands of eyes scrutinizing, though they cheer for my return, cajole me to dance and join the merriment. Oh, yep, that's exactly what it is. There are eager hands all over, pulling me in every direction, but they do not move me enough to remove me from the woman's gaze.
Listen. Can you not hear them as they welcome you home? Your kind, our kind. You're one of us, my love. We are bonded by the blood we share.
What? If I thought the voices were overwhelming before, it is nothing compared to how they are now. Their voices are loud, speaking in unison and echoing ever on the spaces of my head. They welcome me back as if I've always belonged, as if I was meant to be here in the first place. They call me all these titles and names that do not belong to me, and that man's face, the ones with the empty eyes, flashes again before me, once fleetingly, like a new memory having burned itself in my mind. I have to struggle for air when I come back to myself after.
I'm not. This isn't...
The welcomes turn into screams at my protest, pained and desperate pleas for my help, telling me that it is my duty to stay, telling me that I belong among them, to them. Gentle touches turn near threatening, the warning scratches and the baring of teeth by my predators before they truly maim someone. My mouth goes dry as I struggle to speak some sense in this hallucinatory madness, but I don't get the chance as they drown out my voice.
Our Lord, my Prince.
No, I'm just Luke. At her words, there is a compulsion to stay, though my heart races in my chest. The fear I should be experiencing refuses to register in my brain. Did it say that? Sorry. In my head, sorry. Mind and body war with each other, nearly tearing me in two.
Oh, you finally returned to us.
The compulsion to walk into her arms is strong. Whispers in my head tell me to go to her. They say that she's safety, she's home and heart.
We have been waiting for so long.
But repulsed at these thoughts, I wrench away and turn with a small gasp. Without hesitation, I start to make a run for it. I nearly falter when an angry shriek pierces the air, inhumane and monstrous. I don't dare look back, I just run. I didn't care if this is a drug-induced hallucination or not. Just run. Out of the ballroom. And out of the parlour. It's only then I bother to look back, hoping and praying to God I scorn that it did not pursue me. I would have run all the way out of the mansion too, if only someone didn't get in my way. I collide with a body much larger than mine, and I fall back to the ground, head spinning as I look up at the stained glass. Turning my head to the side replaces the colourful sight with a pair of shiny black shoes. Fatigue fills every inch of my being, then making me refuse to get up. Meanwhile, a familiar head of ginger hair looks down at me in bemusement.
You really must look where you're going if you insist on running about. Do tell, where is the fire?
Oh, thank God you're here.
I do hope you don't have a concussion. Can you count backwards from 15 to 1 for me?
Oh, fuck off, you wanker. Just help me up.
I do not think insulting me if you do have a concussion is a smart decision. But no, really. 15 to 1.
That woman, she was here. I told you to keep an eye out for her.
The other man offers an arm and pulls me up to my feet then, but before I can stomp off and pull him into the ballroom, he angers me down with one hand on my shoulder and the other one touching the back of my head.
No bruising or bump. That still does not mean that you don't have a concussion. If you are too lazy to count backwards, can you tell me your full name? Where are you currently?
We don't have Lucille Mitchell Wright, and this is the
Right.
Ermengarde bloody fucking foyer. But we don't have time for this.
You must make and have the time to make sure you are not broken in the head.
Johans!
I have already sent security to scour the whole house when I saw you running out of the parlor, Dummkopf. If the woman is here, they will have her. You will only be slowing them down if you plan to interfere.
When he points that out, I realize that there are guards starting to filter into the house as we speak, with some already searching the nearby rooms. Armed and uniformed men go about in pairs, making it so the house is in a flurry of activity. He lets go of me, then, with the knowledge that I'm not going to keel over anytime soon.
I was hoping that you would be tired from dealing with the young miss on my return. Instead, you come running and hit your head. Such a troublesome boy. Shall I be carrying you to bed, too?
I can manage just fine on my own. Though I don't see how I can sleep until that woman is caught.
It'll be easier to keep you safe in your quarters. This is twice we've known the woman to break in. I think we can safely presume that you hold her interest.
He says it as a matter of fact, in a tone that brook no argument. Not like I'll argue if it means I'm kept safe. The two of us hurry upstairs, though we remain watchful and wary of any potential threats to my person. We make it to the master bedroom without any trouble, though the two of the security are left outside the door. No problems at all. Not until we get inside. Johann's eyes scan the room wildly, a look of dread on his usually stoic face. And I don't understand for a moment looking around the bedroom. It's empty. But then I realize...
Where's Hana? She came home with you from the hospital, didn't she?
She's supposed to be here. I sent one of the maids to accompany her here, to let her rest.
Uh-oh. I feel the color drain from my face when he raises a hand to stop me from charging out there.
Stay.
I'm not staying in here while Hana stays out there.
One of the guards will find her and bring her here.
And what if they don't? What if that woman gets to her first? What if she already has her?
That's not...
Promise that?
There's no second thought as I reach under my side of the bed and pull out one of my knives. I have no doubt that the other man can take me on if we are both unarmed. But with this, I can even the field, or at least deter him from escalating the situation, risking hurting either of us.
I'm going out there to look for Hana, and you're either with me or you aren't. I'm not risking Hana, and I'm not leaving her alone.
Aww. Still, like a stubborn mule, he refuses to budge from the door. There's a withering look on him that I try to match. On that, somehow, I am losing fast too, even with him not saying a word yet. Oh, remember when Ash came into this house and then fought Johann's? This must be the time when Ash was fighting Johann's, because the whole place is in a flurry, you know, with security running about and the ghost fucking everything up.
Can you see yourself in the mirror right now? You are in no proper state to go looking for anyone. If it will make you happy, I will do the looking. But please, and don't make me repeat this, stay where it's safe, where security can find you. We already have one person to be worried about. Please don't add another one to it.
Perhaps it is his tone. In spite of his general disdain for virtually everything that has to do with me, I'd like to think that over the years he has grown to care for Hana at least. Much as I loathe to admit it, I'd trust him with her safety over any servant in this house. So, acquiesce. Oh my god, I'm so bad with English.
You have 2 hours, Shirokin. I don't think it'll take that long to find one missing woman in this house. 2 hours. Any more than that, and I'm going out there.
Of course.
Despite his words, he lingers. If I didn't know any better, I'd say he wants to make sure I get in that damn bed and sleep before he turns away from me. What am I, a child, watching me and treating me like one? There is The reason why we will never get along.
Well, what are you waiting for?
And the knife?
The knife stays.
Very well.
Only then does he seem to get the hint. With a nod, he leaves, locks and closes the doors behind him. For a moment, I still hear his voice while he gives the guards outside firm instructions, then a hush as soon as he departs and his footsteps fade away. One that doesn't quite last. As quickly as the silence settles, lightning flashes across the sky, followed immediately by the loud boom of thunder. And that wanker strikes so dangerously close that I can feel the electricity in the air. The power goes out not a second later, and I feel as if I'm being mocked by whatever great power there is. All is deathly still for a moment, but soon the rain starts once again. Far heavier than a light drizzle from this morning, its pitter-patter hitting hard against this place's roof. Despite the noise, I find myself drawn to my bed, exhausted, hoping for a little nap. I'm safe here. Hannah will be safe too. Shrocken will find her, and when I wake, she'll be here. It does not take long. Once my head hits the pillow, in a matter of minutes, darkness claims me, bringing with it laughters and whispers of a twisted love from a long time ago.
Who are you? Stay away!
Who's this? What the fuck?
Sweet dreams, my love. It'll be over soon.
What's going on? November 1st, Tuesday. Is it still midnight? Yet, in spite of the unfamiliar voices and unwanted touches from the shadows lurking in the dark, rousing is a slow, arduous process. Wait, whoa, wait a second.
Who are you? Stay away!
Is that Ash? Is that Ash's voice? Difficult, every limb heavy with lead. No matter my aversion for the words they murmur in my ears or the sight of a horrid smile from afar, my body refuses to yield. I am at their mercy. Beyond fathomable reason, my consciousness refuses the pull of the waking world, choosing to linger in the pits of a dream, gradually drawing me deeper into unknown depths. Somehow, even if it might mean I may never open my eyes, I allow them.
You do not belong there, my prince.
Not that I mind getting a few extra hours, of course. The bed's more than comfortable as it is after an exhausting day yesterday. Babysitting Kylie and the stress of finding an intruder in my own home. You don't think so? Yeah, might be something else. Maybe it was the previous Lord's voice. Maybe. I think I deserve a little break every once in a while, especially after going through all that in a single day. I can only be on the receiving end of so many unacceptable things within the span of a few hours, you know. As gracious a host and personal I am, my patience has its limits too. Although there's still that problem with Hannah. I haven't forgotten that, of course, but that's why I hired Shrocken. He's competent enough. He won't even last a day in my service if he's any lesser than those half-wits who think they can deceive me with sweet words. He's more than capable of working on his own without guidance. Let the butler take care of that little problem with Hannah while I... Hannah.
You do not need her. I am here. We are here.
Who is we?
This is where your home is.
No.
Where you belong. For the blood we share.
Oh, that's fucked.
Come back to us.
No, thanks. How long has it been since? Johans has never taken this long
Surely
before.
there should have been an update by now. Alright?
So why isn't there?
Please don't go.
Oh.
Bloody hell, the cretins I've surrounded myself with.
And isn't that enough reason to force myself out of bed? As it has always been the case. Oh boy, well. My eyes fly open, expecting the warm rays of sunshine filtering through the curtains, only to be greeted by a blinding flash of light and a loud boom of thunder that sounded nearly too close to my ears. Strong gusts of wind will occasionally burst from the open balcony door, bringing in drizzles of cold rain into the room. I must have left it open earlier before dozing off. The carpet and the floor closest to it, it is already drenched. Hannah is going to be so cross once she sees this. Not that it's an immediate problem. If anything, if anything, is this power outage we should be minding first. With the intruder still at large, steering through this darkness might be far more fatal than multiple stab wounds or a gunshot to the chest.
Oh, great. The power's still out. That is exactly what I need right now. Yes.
It's the storm, of course. I should have moved back to the penthouse to weather it in a much more comfortable setting. Already I can hear the creak and groans of this old place as rain beats against the windows.
Johans! Has someone been sent to check the circuit breaker yet?
No answer.
Johans!
Silence.
Shrokin! Someone! Anyone?
Is everyone dead? Still nothing, and my cordial mood is quickly dissipating.
Where are those idiots when you need them?
It's really a wonder why he hasn't fixed this yet. Was I really out that long? Can't be. It has only been a few hours after midnight, if the time on my wristwatch is anything to go by, unless I've forgotten to change it again after that last overseas trip a month ago. Though the delay is understandable, if he went looking for Hannah, as he promised. But bloody hell, my safety's also at stake here. Cursing, I stay still, letting my eyes try and adjust to the darkness while my hands fumble for my slippers. If that butler isn't going to fix this, I might as well order the security post outside to do it. It's probably just blown a fuse. Anyone with a brain can repair one. Grabbing my jacket, and with footwear finally on, I make for the door. Although in haste, I pause briefly when a gleam catches my eyes. On one of my drawers, underneath the clutter I've yet to organise, the muzzle of a gun peeks out. Oh, is this where you got the gun? Hannah never openly commented on my possession of it, but I know she does not approve of it, knowing the bloody firearms policy in this nation. Of course, I've not found much use for it in the 7 years we've been together. Otherwise, she would have already thrown it out years ago. Doesn't mean it won't be useful right now. Without a second thought, I seize it, sending the stuff piled above it onto the floor. Whatever. I'll get to it later. This blackout problem should be resolved first. Right next to my missing security detail, as it turns out.
Where the fuck did everyone go?
There were two, weren't there? Shrocken had two blokes posted to stand guard for the night. I might be panicking for a bit earlier, but I'm quite sure I haven't gotten delusional yet. Oh no, they're all dead. What? Did both of them decide to take a break because they think the master's already sound asleep and won't be looking for them?
Damn nitwits!
I know assassinations happen very rarely these days, and even less in a peaceful city like Luxbourne, but bollocks! There's been a woman going in and out of this place uninvited, who may or may not want to put a knife in my back. Isn't that enough reason to stay on alert? I'm fairly certain Shrocken won't just enlist their help just for this power outage, only to leave me unprotected. We have a difficult friendship, so to speak, but I doubt that man is an opportunist. I'm holding the lives of his family in my hands, after all. He knows what I'm capable of. He's not stupid enough to do anything that'll endanger them and save only himself. So where then? Only my footsteps echo a long, dark passage, and I am left gripping the handle of my pistol for some sort of comfort. Without proper lighting, and with this storm still raging outside, the stories I've heard about this place seem to have some truth to it. Some. If I'm reaching and wish to entertain myself for a bit, I'll stay there. I'll say there might also be ghosts whispering in my ears, calling. Of course, it's just the wind and the trees rustling outside. Nothing good will come allowing these thoughts to linger when problems are piling up in front of me, one after another. Johans is behind that door, isn't he? Because he's in the attic. Especially with what greets me once I get to the foyer. Though it's dark, the large windows illuminate the area much more easily than any of the other rooms. And from where I stand at the top of the stairs, I can easily make out their forms, recognize them even. It's all gone crazy when these intruders come into my house. I'm no stranger to a cop playing dirty. The smart ones knew that neither life nor criminals are going to play fair, and if one of this wog's sort is in on this, I'm not surprised too. But Daisy too? What would Kylie think of her Miss Pink if poor Tyke finds out about this? Not to mention Mint. Hannah trusted her. I trusted her to be a professional at the very least, for fuck's sake. To top it all off, they all have the nerve to look surprised when I announce my presence.
Well, what have we here? If I were any less sober, I'd say this is the beginning of a joke.
Bloody trespassers, what is wrong with these people? Do they really think I'll be fine with them walking into my home like this? What are they even doing here? If I didn't know any better, they might also be behind Hannah's disappearance.
That's right, my love.
Oh, she's influencing us. They must have a motive.
Make them pay.
And it better be a good one. Or a bullet to the head is the least all of them would deserve.
Let's see. A photographer, a high school teacher, and an interior designer walk into a mansion.
Thunder crackles once again, cutting me off. This time, its sounds hit close enough that it nearly feels as if the windows and the ground itself are rumbling. All is deathly still for a moment. I don't let it stop me, however, as I slowly make my way towards them, taking one careful step at a time, relishing the expression of fear in their eyes. I suppose there's something ominous in this setting, with the heavy rain outside and the lack of light here. I kind of like it, to be honest. Add something to the atmosphere. I suppose I must look like the villain now. But short of me getting close to them, a noise to my left distracts me, briefly halting my movements while curiosity takes over every murmurs in my head. And it's a good thing, perhaps, that I did, because as soon as I look up, I see him. Another trespasser, great. Just as he's about to jump down from furniture that has somehow ended up piled and blocking the door to the parlor. What happened there? And did he really think it's alright to do that in other people's house? Lout?
My lord. Put him in his place.
My hand's already moving before any rationale can stop me. Fingers firm at my gun when I finally release the safety from it and take aim. Not at him, but at his friends. They are his, aren't they? Why else would they be together? Doesn't matter. He won't let the people he cares about be harmed. My finger on the trigger's more than itching to shoot, but I hold back. Sure, I could have simply taken aim at him, but more than seeing him bleed, I want to see the expression on his face once he realizes everything he's doing is futile. He's trapped. Lives are in my hand. His life's in my hand.
Had I known there would be a party in my own home tonight, I would have opened a bloody bottle or two. People these days, in my own home, can you believe it? I feel so left out.
I can tell the exact moment the realization dawns on him. A short second of his body freezing and blood draining from his face as soon as his feet hits the floor and he looks up. He's already a prey, trapped by his own recklessness.
Pathetic.
And really, Daisy, even you, what would Kylie say?
Luke, this isn't what you're thinking. You have to listen to us. There's something going on here.
Well, obviously, why else would people be trespassing in my home? What about the photographer over there then? You were the photographer, right? What's your excuse? Checking back if your clients are doing okay? Is that it? Is this what this is? Oh, we're doing good, by the way.
Please, sir.
Oh, please what?
Rebecca's right, sir. Something ain't right here. We ain't here to harm you or anything. We're just here to help.
Not a good excuse, especially coming from you. Let's simplify it. You people are the ones who need to get out of my sight. Don't worry, I might consider pressing lighter charges for the woman. Can't say the same for the rest of you, but really now. I swear the people of this city need to be taught the meaning of privacy. This is how you want to start the week. Why don't we just go with a bloody massacre if we want to surprise people in their homes, huh?
It's just a passing remark, of course. I'm not stupid enough to do something that'll bring negative attention to myself. He wasn't going to shoot them. Reputation and all that, I can't just risk it. The thought of having dead bodies here, ones that I'm not even responsible for, they're the ones who trespassed, it's already quite too much. It'll literally be overkill, especially for someone like me. Nevertheless, joke or not, Feathers wastes no time in drawing his own gun at the slight wave of my own, even if he knows it's already too late. Still, he glares at me. Still, he fights back.
Now, Feathers. Manners. You're in no position to be pointing that gun at people.
There's no desperation in him like I'm hoping, just annoyance, flickering shortly before being hidden underneath a challenge. The likes of him are the kind of people I hate most. Even with their failures already glaring down at them, mocking every worthless move they make, they have the impudence to stare people in the eye.
Why don't you put yours down first, and then we'll talk about manners.
Oh, he talks back. The gall! You know, your kind pisses me off so much.
Annoying most of the time, like a damn pest you can't be rid of. But to some degree, it is commendable. I'll give him that. After all, we're almost the same in that regard. Almost. I'm still the better person, of course. He tells me to put the gun down, but I see no reason why I should. I'm a homeowner, in defense of my own home. I have the right to, I'd like to think. Questionable permits of firearms aside, it's not like I wanted this, but I'm already high-strung and their presence does not help. Bloody peasants. I can never seem to figure out how their minds fully work, and I should have expected he won't let this end in some kind of standstill.
Sorry about this. I really don't have time for you.
A short lapse, it's all it is. One moment of letting my guard down. Before I can react, he fires 2 shots in quick succession. A sound crackling through the empty foyer, almost as loud as the storm raging outside, breaking the tense air in the room. Pain explodes in my wrist no 2 seconds later. Just a graze, however, it is enough to cause my fingers to tense, and the pistol slides to the floor with a dull thud.
You insolent!
Then, moments happen in a blur. In the following second, I'm being tackled bodily to the ground, back hitting the cold floor, hard, and an arm pinning me down by the neck. There's a fleeting minute of panic and struggle while I try to untangle myself from him before he manages to knock me out. And then, a scream. A wail piercing through the thick air, shrill and sharp enough for the both of us to cover our ears and hunker down on our knees. And with each sharp note beating harshly against my head are the images again. Faces and voices so utterly unfamiliar, seeping into every crevice, turning sinister with each shift. They're not mine, but they might as well be with how vivid and crisp they are. Over and over, they all flash behind my eyes until it becomes unbearable. Pounding, throbbing, thudding against my skull, worse than any headache a hangover can give. Bloody, I'll take a hangover over this any day. A haze begins to fill my vision as black spots dance around the corners of my eyes. Beside me, the detective suddenly moves, shouting a name I don't quite hear, and then... In the next second, he falls down on one knee, desperately trying to keep himself up with the strength he has left, but eventually his own body caves in, taking the horrified Daisy down with him, muttering quietly to her as something distinctively red flows from his body. Blood? This man isn't supposed to be dead yet. He isn't supposed to. I didn't shoot him. I'm sure of it. So what killed him? What in bloody blazes is going on here? Is it so wrong to just want a quiet night where nothing needs attending to? Just one normal night? Quickly, everything has turned crazy with perilous happenings that are hard to explain. But it seems that when it comes to me, death is always around the corner. I want to look him over. This is going to cause more problems. All this screaming and crying for a detective who's died for no apparent reason is going to give me a migraine. I need to get all these people out of my house, one way or another. But in the blurry mess of my vision, none of this registers enough to compel my body to move. Nothing does, except for the voice unexpectedly ringing above the discord, and when I finally gather the strength to look up, everything falls away into the background. All that matters is her.
Help me. Please.
Oh, this is where we left off.
Everything you're doing is useless, Ashton Frey. And now, you're dying. Meddlesome fool.
I've always been cautious and careful, cutting off trouble's head before things can escalate if I'm able. That's why I deal with the likes of Harvey, Suarez, and Johans. For all who we are, for all the enemies the likes of us can make, such a thing has never happened before, because I do everything to make sure it doesn't happen. So, to see Hannah in danger, I don't quite know how to feel or what to do. Of all the times for there to be a hostage situation, if this is even one, why now? Good fucking god, what is going on here?
Help me. Please make it stop.
I think death would be preferable if my sense of self-preservation was shot to high hell. It would deprive me of choice and of responsibility in the matter. I don't want to think about how fast my heart beats so that I hardly hear anything other than my own heartbeat and her pleading.
Please, they're in my head. Screaming. It hurts so much.
What do I do? What can I do against someone holding your life in their hands? with a woman that looks more monster than man. With her expression turns into one of amusement, and her horrific laughter fills the air. I'm torn apart. This is my fault, isn't it? Hannah is in danger because of me. Everyone I love always ends up hurt or worse, and even when I chose to let her go, she is no exception. Hannah's unbroken begging makes it all the much more painful, because I still love Hannah, I really do. But will I really endanger myself for a woman who might not love me back anymore? Still, something in me dies a little when that woman laughs, as if this is all some sick joke. Her smile taunts me, filling my head with laughter and rage until I can barely think over the cacophony in my head. And the way the woman looks at me is as if she's watching, waiting for my next move.
Please! Someone! Anyone! Help me!
This is crazy, and I don't know what I should do. I know for a fact that one shouldn't aggravate a hostage taker. There is no winning an argument with someone who holds a life easily taken. But I need to do something, right? I just have to... What should I do? Demand Hannah's release? Or should I keep quiet? Oh boy. Well, this is a hostage situation. What do you guys think I should do? Type number 1 if you think I should say... if I should demand Hannah's release, or number 2, if you think I should just keep quiet for now. What do you think? Type number 1 or number 2? I feel like this is a big decision as well. I'm not too sure. Ruth says number 1. Alright, anybody else? I'll give 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, let's demand Hannah's release. What am I doing? Why am I even hesitating? Oh, wow. Yeah, that brought our relationship all the way up. I wouldn't go so far to claim that I'm any sort of decent human being. I realize now that I may not have been the best husband one could ask for, but she's still my wife, and even if she wasn't, she's still Hannah. Can I really live with myself if I just stood by idly while she was in danger? That doesn't change the fact that this is all fucking insane, of course. Having all these intruders is crazy. To think about going at this thing is crazy. I can hardly classify it as a person in my eyes. Perhaps a maggot that needs to be crushed under my shoe, just like the rest of this sorry lot. But a person? Hardly. But I cared none for any of it. They didn't matter. All that matters is that Hannah is in danger. But cold pours over me, freezes me in place. Once more when I try to make demands, I have to take deep breaths, grit my teeth, and steel my fist to even find the courage to speak up.
Let go of her! Whatever it is you want! Just don't you dare hurt her!
And if my voice isn't as firm as I'd like, it doesn't matter. I will beg and plead if I have to. On my knees, bend my fucking proud neck and maybe even break it just to make sure she's safe. I don't know what I would do if anything happened to Hannah. The cold stillness is gone from my body and my very skin feels like it's on fire, and I have to shout, scream at her when Hannah continues to cry out in pain.
What do you want? Money? Is that it? I give you however much you want!
Luke, please make it stop. I want it to stop.
Just stop whatever it is you're doing to her! Can't you see she's hurting?
I cannot stand for this.
Let go of her! Now!
I say it with such ridiculous conviction, and of course, she won't listen. Why would she? She has the upper hand here. There's no reason for her to do as I ask. But her voice is but a whisper and deathly slow, and I'm hard-pressed to hear it over the pounding of my heart in my ears. She speaks, the woman from the gardens and the servant girl from the ballroom, from the hallucination, vision, memories, whatever they were. A hush settles over the room as we listen. Oh my god, Takako's voice.
And you wish to have him back.
There are no second thoughts.
Be that as it may, I still love her!
Oh, Luke!
And I will make you rue the day you were born if you don't let her go!
Oh yes, Luke! Though her expression doesn't change, I have this awful feeling that that wasn't the answer she was looking for. I can see how the woman's fingers tighten around Hannah's throat. Hear the hitch in her breath, and I fear that I've made the worst decision in speaking out. I didn't think she would listen, yet she does. A hand on Hannah's back sends her falling down the stairs. I move to catch her, and that sends us both sprawling at the foot of the stairs. With my back to the ground and her top on mine, the pain doesn't even register in my head. All I can worry about is Hannah as I pull the both of us off the ground and away from the stairs, away from her.
Are you alright, Hannah? Are you hurt?
It takes much too long for my liking before she speaks. All she's able to do for a moment is whimper in pain, a hand on her throat. And when she does manage to speak, her voice is far too faint, along with the hold she has on my arm. It's terrifying to see her like this, and to think I nearly lost her for good.
Luke, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. She just...
It's fine. It's fine. You're fine. This isn't your fault.
For a moment, we forget, but
You deserve each other.
hearing her voice triggers something in Hannah, and she starts to tear up. Her face contorts into one of pain and fear, but I grab her by the shoulders to keep her in place so that she can see me and only me, and so that I can only see her too.
Look at me, Hannah. Look, I'm here. You're safe. I won't let her hurt you again. You understand? Just breathe.
Oh no, she took a tumble in the stairs. What about the baby? I don't know exactly what in bloody hell is going on, but yet I can't find it in me to care. Whoever these people are and whatever they're here for, this is not acceptable. For all I know, this is all some dumb charade to get to me. Charade, sorry. All the times I've seen the woman before, it could have all been an act to get to me, to get under my skin. And to think they dare hurt Hannah? For all that the fear that I had felt, seeing her touch Hannah, I can only think of her as an actress in grotesque makeup. My hand still shakes, the fear not having quite gone, but anger fills me as I look at the woman, a sneer on my face.
How dare you! I don't care who you are, but how dare you touch Hannah!
You tell him, Luke.
I want you out of my house! Out before I call the police and have you put away for the rest of your miserable life!
Nice.
And that goes for all of you!
Yeah! I hold my ground, firm and strong with my declaration. But the nerve of her! She just laughs in my face. A terrible, dreadful laugh that makes me feel as if there are ants crawling on my skin and maggots squirming into my ears.
You are telling me to get out of your house. You threatened to lock me up.
Sounds like Hannah. She laughs and she laughs.
What's so funny? What are you laughing at? None of this is funny!
But she persists, and it almost feels like her voice is in my head.
Oh, no different. No different. You're all the same. You can all suffer together.
Suffer. That is when everything turns to complete and utter shite. Oh boy. It's a slow thing, a whisper more than a bang, as the darkness creeps into every corner of the room, the walls shudder and groan. Blood runs from the ceiling, crawls down the walls and stains the floors. It feels as if life itself is being sucked from the house slowly but surely. The beauty of the place is gone, with only the dead, decaying remains of the mansion left in its wake. I don't have to wonder if it is just the foyer that's become this nightmarish place. I can already hear it. Gone are the growling of thunder and the lashing of rain and wind against the foyer's high windows. All of it has been replaced by a more grating sound. A cacophony of voices from nowhere and everywhere, echoing throughout the now horrid walls. Voices that neither belong to us nor the people who live here.
What's going on?
Help! Please!
I'm pretty sure that sounds just like Isabella and Ash, right? All throughout the house, shouts of alarm and surprise ring out, a mirror to the horror creeping up in each of us. Who wouldn't be shocked? This is insane. Even Daisy, feisty woman that she is, trembles at the sight of it, while Steele stands protectively in front of her. Brave of him, I'll have to admit, to put himself in front of the line like that, though it doesn't necessarily mean he doesn't feel the same fear as the rest of us. Cowboy, it's the screams, you reckon? Yeah, it probably is. Something I don't blame him for. There seems to be no end in sight to this insanity. If anything, this only feels like it's the beginning of the end.
Help me! Oh my god! Please, somebody! Anybody! Who are you?
Oh.
Stay away!
Ooh, that's a lot louder.
No.
Stay away! Stay away!
Johans? Is that Johans?
We're all in danger. I thought you were my friends. Why don't you believe me?
That's definitely Isabella.
I'm sorry.
That's definitely Ash. The screams fill the mansion. She laughs all the while, a harsh, agonizing sound that goes on for what feels like forever. Until there is nothing but silence, her horrid smile and pale hands reaching out to me. No, Johans! Oh my god, that actually did sound like Johans back then. Calling, beckoning, pleading. I'm terrified. I really am, like I should be, but I have never been one to truly stay afraid. I've long learned that fear will not get me anywhere. Cowering in a corner doesn't keep me safe, and it will not keep me alive, not like rage does. I've learned to use this burning hate inside of me to survive. There is no difference now.
Stay away from me!
Why do you wish to leave? This is where you belong, my lord.
Oh, that's definitely
Remember the
Takako.
blood we share?
The blood?
This is your home. Don't you remember? You promised to return, to stay. Together with me, with us, with people no different from you.
What is she talking about, Luke? What does she mean?
I have no
Don't
clue.
listen to her, she lies. I promised no such thing to anyone. Hannah, you're the one who bought this house. How should I know what she's babbling about? I never even wanted to be here in the first place.
A terrible case of mistaken identity. That must be it. I'm quite sure of it. I don't know this woman, this monster. Why would I say that to someone like her? In my entire lifetime, I've only made and kept sincere promises to a mere two people, Hannah Evans and Eleanor Chandler. Oh, his mother. No one else. The rest of those who claim I've promised anything to them can go fuck themselves. Bloody hell. I may enjoy the company of women, but I am not an idiot to start spouting such nonsense to anyone. A line must be drawn, especially if I am to keep myself alive. Oh, so maybe we slept with Rochelle but never promised her. Yet, she still goes on, insists, making me appear lie in front of these people.
Of course you still deny it. Have you truly forgotten?
Forgotten what?
You haven't changed, I see. Still a deceiver.
What promise?
She's lying!
You see, my love, nothing has changed.
What?
Still no difference, you and I. Just like the rest of us. Just like every single soul in this putrid wreck.
Yeah, it's not a house, it's a wreck.
We've waited for so long.
Oh god.
You can hear them, yes. Their pleas,
Yeah, we can.
their calls,
Yep, all of it.
their invitation.
Your invitation.
Come, my lord. The house seeks its master.
Oh my god, no thanks. The monster reaches out again, her hands of a gory, abhorrent sight, along with that smile spread across her face. My body's already moving on instinct, stumbling back, one step at a time in a desperate bid to be away from her, anything to put distance between me and this vile creature. No matter what she says, I'm nothing like her. I need to get out of this house, out of this country, preferably. There is nothing for me here, not anymore, nothing to keep tied to this place. With Hannah planning to leave me, Shrocken likely taken by this woman. Yeah, oh no, poor Johans. Nothing's left to bind me to this wretched city. Oh man, yeah, we actually care about Johans. I can leave, I can...
Careful, Luke.
My foot steps on something, sending me sliding on my back and flat on the floor. Beside me, a paper, familiar one, flutters down. Ah, it's this thing again, from the open house, though it feels like less like a gimmick and more like a threat. What with the recent events, it must have fallen from the detective in the commotion earlier, and with its owner having met a gruesome death, now it simply bears its equally grisly message for everyone in the room to see. Help me, help me, help me. Is this it? What they've been telling us? Why everything in my life has gone to shite because of some stupid old letter? An invitation indeed, one I am not willing to accept, not anytime. From the top of the stairs, the woman moves again, drawing my attention back to her. Her gait remains slowed and awkward as she walks forward, that smile never leaving her. But I don't. I won't give her the chance. I am not dying here. I certainly am not giving myself to a hideous creature like her either. Adrenaline kicks in, and desperate panic gasps and worried glances from the people in the room. I pay them no mind as I reach for the main door and... without warning, it slams open, revealing not the mansion grounds like I am expecting. Before my mind can even comprehend what's happening, black tendrils have already coiled tightly around my limbs, dragging every person in the foyer into the room. None of us even get to scream when darkness completely envelops us upon the doors closing. Oh no, tentacles!
Understand where your place is now, my love. You belong here.
Oh.
Is it so difficult to grasp? We've been waiting.
Right. There's a moment of panic when the feeling of the tendrils around my limbs finally dissipates. As soon as my eyes adjust to the darkness in the room and I'm on my feet, I'm reaching for my knife and holding it out. Where's our gun? Watching, waiting for every movement, using it as a way to put distance between me and these peasants. Who knows what they'll do now? We're all desperate to get out of this house. There's only 5 of us in this room, 2 of them friends at that. I cannot trust these people not to turn on me. Bloody hell, even Hannah's giving me the same look as them now, though Mint has already gone loon, crouched in a corner muttering to herself. You can't really say anyone's safe from her. If anything, she's the one I should watch out for her. I cannot trust anyone. Not anymore. Not after this. Everything that I've built has fallen apart. All because of these people came into our lives.
You! All of you! This is all your fault! If I've died to this bloody case, I'm taking you all down with me!
Luke, please put that knife away. This isn't going to solve anything.
Hey now, Mr. Wright. I know the situation ain't good, but we have to calm down. We're all in the same boat here.
You shut your mouth! If it weren't for you, for this letter, for all of you, none of this would have happened!
Is your life all that matters to you? What about these people here? Don't they have the same problem? What about me, Luke? Do you even care?
Are you taking their side? You're also stuck in this nightmare, Hannah! That creature is out to get us, and you're still defending these people!
I'm not defending anyone, Luke. I'm just trying to be reasonable when you're clearly not.
That's true.
Of course you're not. You're just the one who bought this bloody mansion to begin with. If I didn't know any better, you did this on purpose!
Why, no. Why would I ever do that? This was only meant to be an anniversary gift. For you. For us. For the family we're going to have.
Right, anniversary gift. Oh, here's your gift, darling. Oh, by the way, there's a curse included in that package. I hope that's all right. Are you really that eager to get rid of me, Hannah? Because if that's what you've been meaning to do all this time, you might as well just put a knife in my back while I'm...
Suddenly, Hannah steps up and slaps the knife away from my hand. Said knife slides endlessly under the table out of my reach. Before my mind registers what's happening, a sharp blow explodes in the side of my head, sending me reeling backwards. Ooh! She merely stands before me, without even batting an eye, glaring at me as if she might just rip my head off this instant. Sometimes I forget.
Don't you dare, Luke. Don't you dare imply I've ever thought of you that way.
That's Hannah. That Hannah is never the weak woman I believed her to be. How did I come to think of her as such? She used to be someone I can look up to, isn't she? When you look at her now, the way she stands tall, facing a man like me, the same way she has done so all those years ago, I can't help but think, am I not responsible for taking that part of herself away from her? Enjoy your time as Mrs. Luke Wright? What a bunch of shite. Figures why she wants to leave
and
me.
And these people are only trying to help us.
Oh, of course, by barging into our home. Are you really going to trust them to save your life? These peasants who brought this pox upon us.
Keep talking about us like that, and see if any of us here will keep you out of this place.
The goal of these people, bloody peasants. My head's already aching just listening to the attempt to defend themselves. Do they all take me for someone with half a brain? I should have just stabbed all of them and made a run for it. It doesn't help with each second we spend talking here, the crazier this whole place gets. One of us here in particular, a Mr. Furore. I don't know what that means, sorry. Yeah, I can't pronounce that. I'm really bad in English all of a sudden. Mint suddenly stands. I'm almost forgotten she's here, her ramblings having faded away in the shouting. And without warning, she snatches the paper out of my hand. It's a miracle it didn't rip right there and then, but the way she glares at it, I think she may want to do exactly that.
It's this thing's fault! We should have gotten rid of this thing! We should have burned it at the first opportunity we got!
Yep.
There were children! Victims! All because they had no idea what this thing will do to them! Oh god, those poor souls! They were screaming and begging before she... This cursed thing has to go!
She's losing grip with reality. She is. A crazy woman is the last thing I want to deal with, for fuck's sake. The whole world has already gone bonkers as it is. The voices have also become louder and somehow sounding more vicious. If the things in this room start floating, mark my words, I will fucking flip out. And they may not be thinking of it right now, but eventually, they'll turn on me. Such is the nature of humans. I can't let that happen. Fuck, I still have so much to do. Better find a way out of this place as soon as possible if I want to stay alive. And what else is the source of our problem but that sodding letter? Burning this doesn't seem sound, but who knows? We don't understand shite about this place. Might as well try everything, yeah? Mint may have a point, as questionable as her judgment is right now. Whatever works. If I also have to be the one to make that bloody decision, so be it. And it's an easy decision to make, especially with these cries growing louder. I'm getting tired of it, really. Oh, we do have like we do have a lighter in our pocket, don't we? Yeah, the pocket with our mother's name on it. I simply have to act fast, think fast, and what else is the root cause of our problems but that letter? No need to make things more complicated. It started from there, why won't it end there? If what Mint has said is true, then there's all the more reason to destroy it. Put an end to this madness before anyone can think of passing it on to someone else, before this situation can stretch on far too long for my taste. I snatch that blast of paper away.
Give me that.
For a second she appears offended until I take out Mum's lighter. The sight of it shuts them all up. But I have no need for the opinion. In the next moment, I'm already setting the letter on fire. Oh, and it doesn't take too long for the thing to catch fire. It's old, for heaven's sake. Though, I make sure none of the ashes end up on anything flammable. It'll be an inferno inside this study with all the books and documents stored here. Wow, smart Luke, he's really thinking ahead. Not that a big flame's anything to worry about in this case. In fact, in a matter of minutes, the damn thing has turned to ashes on the floor. With nothing left to burn, though, the fire dies, fades into thin air with a whiff of smoke, leaving only the awful scent of burnt paper in the room. But as the last of the paper turns into cinders, a sharp, agonized wail echoes from somewhere in the mansion before quickly dying out, taking with her the horrors she has brought upon the mansion. Slowly before our eyes, the mansion changes again. Oh shit, did we do it? Oh, blood fading from the walls, ceilings, and the floor, returning the place to its old beauty. Gone is the darkness, quickly replaced by the artificial lights in the room. Even the smell of blood and gore has completely disappeared from the room. Perhaps the only thing undesirable left are the dumbfounded looks they're giving me.
See? Wasn't that easy?
Oh, I got an achievement.
For fuck's sake, you people need to get your heads checked. How did you all make it this far in life with that kind of thinking?
That's true. I was saying to burn it in the first place. I just got an achievement called "Are You Shitting Me?"
Well, you can all thank me later for this.
Thanks, Luke.
You may now show yourselves out of my property before I call the police on you simpletons.
I walk out of the study without a single glance back at them, more than eager to finally get fresh air. They can find their way out of this place, I'm sure. I better not catch them again here, though I will not be happy. Outside, there is only silence. Deafening, still. The same hush that comes after a terrible storm has swept the countryside, and with it, from the wide open windows, is a sight of the sun rising above the horizon. Even so, ever so slowly, the sky begins to lighten before my eyes. Darkness giving way to the warm morning hues, soft rays spilling over the vast expanse of Luxbourne's countryside. Nearby, the trees sway and rustle with the breeze, a passing draught that carries even into this room from outside, cold enough to make me shiver. The remains of a storm that passed. In the distance, I can hear the soft chirping of birds while the rest of the world stirs wakes. Dawn at last. We are free. Epilogue. Whew. It can't be that simple. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it can't be that simple either, right? For undisclosed reasons to the public, the mansion is put back on the market months later, while Brial Realty Corporation faces criminal charges filed by one Luke Wright. After the news of the lawsuit broke out and the realty company's declaration of bankruptcy, rumors quickly spread across Luxbourne City. But for those who still believe in the stories of the old, and those who know the truth, it is but a testament to the curse and the secrets the Ermengarde mansion has hidden for centuries. But there will come a time those will finally be revealed. Only the hallowed halls of the mansion know. To this day, it stands silent. However, on nights when the wind howls and the thunder booms across the skies, some still claim hearing of voices within, of cries and wails that fill the nights and desperate calls of help for anyone who dares listen, as for those who once trod its halls. After a period of brief separation, Hannah Wright returns to Luke Wright's side. Not without its fair share of challenges, of course, especially for Luke. But for the sake of their children, he tries, although the man still fears fatherhood, afraid of becoming like his father was to him. However, with a little help from Hannah, he eventually comes around, especially when the twins are born. He's still far from being a good father. He thinks he will never be. But there are parts of him that will always remain unpleasant and will exasperate Hannah to no end. But even someone like him, the joys in having a family. Oh, how's everyone looking? Yeah, because we got a really good relationship with Hannah. For the first time in a long while, he admits he's content. They're happy. Months later, after her recovery, Marianne McCulloch heads back to her homeland, ready to close a chapter of a past she has left hanging for so long. There she visits Lorraine's grave, asking for forgiveness from the girl she once loved, something she has intentionally avoided for years. Although the terror of what she had witnessed inside the Ermengarde mansion still clings to her, she bravely chooses to move on from it, turning a new leaf by focusing on a new branch of her interior design company and leaving her interior design company at Luxbourne in the hands of her secretary instead. Although she never returns to the city after, she's frequently seen visiting to check on the people who has become acquainted with her in her years there. Having finally accepted herself, she won't deny she's in a happier place now. Despite making the Ireland branch her interior design company her focus now, Marianne continues to cater to her most avid patrons in Luxbourne when requested. And after her work on Ermengarde Mansion, the Wright couple, particularly Hannah Wright, have never trusted another to handle design for any of the place they own. Oh, so they're friends now, Marianne and Hannah. Upon moving to their new place after giving birth to hers and Luke's children's, Marianne's name is the first thing she calls, while the woman is quick to fly back to the city at the socialite summons. Ah, that's nice. Not only helping with the decorations of their new place, but also assisting with the renovations, much to Hannah's delight. Since then, the two women has kept a close friendship. Often, they can be seen around town together with Marianne, when Marianne in town, and Hannah can be heard recommending the designer to her peers during parties. In a city, often keeping an ear out for any gossip. One can't deny that both women have found a confidant in each other. With the help from family and friends, Zachary Steele is soon able to open a photography studio of his own, something he has only dreamed of having as a child. Although he still hopes to get back to making indie films someday, client work and small projects has kept him mostly busy. Hectic as it may be, he can only be glad for the moment of work pouring in. It has made moving on from the incident in the Ermengarde mansion easier, if not faster. Even with his success, he has still not forgotten what he has lost during that time. But while there are still nightmares, with support from his family, his doctor, and his own drive, the dark images have finally turned into pleasant dreams. He's aware he won't ever truly forget, but he's no longer running away. At times when he's not busy or after a hard day's work, he thinks there's another story for the big screen to be told in that. An idea he may soon return into reality once his time affords it. In the months that follow, Rebecca Gales becomes a prominent researcher within Luxbourne's major academic circles, especially after writing what she has discovered about Anselm Village and the Ermengarde Mansion. With the help from Professor Andrew Clark, she is soon able to secure funding to continue her research, presenting her findings yearly at local and international symposiums. Now, at the end of her current study, she hopes to publish her first book, correcting all inaccuracies in the city's current history. A move supported by both colleagues, students, and friends alike. Though she knows she still has a long way to go before she can even begin to change people's minds about it, Professor Clark has warned her as much. She perseveres, doing it not for herself, but for the sake of what she's lost after the curse. As fresh as the wounds are still, this is how she remembers. No matter how disturbing her experience with the curse may have been, she remains the worrywart she has always been. Even after what she has seen, she continues to fret over people she cares about, sometimes much to their frustration or embarrassment. But if there's one thing that has shifted, it's her relationship with the people in their little group, particularly with Zachary Steele. In fact, on numerous occasions, she has been spotted dropping by his new studio, bringing the man food on days when he's swamped with work. Aww. They also seem to have grown more comfortable around each other than before. Maybe it's born out of this shared experience, or maybe the way they see each other has simply changed naturally due to the years they've known each other. Regardless of the whys, it's a change the man welcomes and appreciates. In turn, he strives to return her kind gestures whenever he can. For all the horrors they've seen, who would have thought something good would come of it? Although her schedule has become constantly busy and the amount of research she needs to finish can easily overwhelm her once she misses a day of work, Rebecca has never forgotten the sacrifice a friend has made for her. Even after so many years, she remains a constant visitor where Ashenfrey lies, sometimes staying for an entire day, simply speaking of stories about her work or occasionally ranting to him when things are bad. Admittedly, the wounds are still fresh, but Rebecca trudges on with life instead of wallowing in her grief, knowing the detective will only chastise her for clinging onto her sorrow for so long. She writes, and it is how she has chosen to hold on to his memory. Amidst her struggles, Rebecca finds an unlikely companion in Luke Wright. Yeah, because they had a really good relationship, right? Yeah, it's almost full to the bar. While being a father has kept him busy nowadays, he still manages to take time for his goddaughter Kylie Suarez, though the man still won't admit it when asked. Rebecca still regards the man as insufferable. She doubts it'll ever change, but after all she has seen, much as she denies it, she now considers his presence the closest thing she has to comfort. A similar sentiment the businessman seems to hold, even confiding in the woman of his own problems and fears, things he couldn't voice out to his wife. Their friendship may be awkward at best, but with the grim reality of death having once shadowed over the two of them, it's something they eventually grow fond of in time. In spite of the huge changes in their lives, Rebecca and Zach never forget to visit Isabella Santos, bringing little stories they have no idea she ever hears, but tells nevertheless, carrying a small prayer that they won't lose her. When they can afford it, they also help her aunt in caring for her, something the woman appreciates, knowing she can't be there for the sleeping girl every hour of the day. However, though they want to remain optimistic on Isabella's chances, it dwindles with every failed attempt of the doctors to bring her out of a coma, and each passing day, the girl stays unconscious. Amidst the constant beeping of machines in her room, optimism is the only thing they can hold on to. Oh man! Wow. Okay. Gosh, look at all this. The cast. Isabella, Hannah, Zach, Marianne, Rebecca, Ashen, Luke, Andrew, Amy, Father Norman, Bartender G, and Officer Lee, and oh, they're all the same. Johans, Kylie, Rose. Whoa. Oh boy, I hope this is not copyright music though. But that was really good. I don't think we got the true ending. I don't know if we got like, I think it's just an average ending, a standard ending. I think we get different endings, especially when everybody survives. But that's really, really hard to do, especially like, you know. Oh boy. Oh, this is Marianne singing in karaoke. It is her singing. Oh, it's her singing. Oh, that was Marianne in karaoke. Oh, that's a good song. I like it. Yeah, I mean, like I said, there are multiple endings. If you want me to do other endings another time, I'm more than happy to do that. Maybe like I said, in a few months' time, October, or even a lot later, depending when I play this again. But I have so much more to get through. I've got Tiny Bunny, and from the same makers of this game, the same makers, we have another game called Saint Maker. Saint Maker, another horror visual novel by the same people here at Yang Yang Mobile that made this game. So I'm very much looking forward to playing that as well some other time. Right now, though, I reckon, on my usual streaming times, 10 PM to midnight Eastern Australian time, Sundays and Mondays, I might play something else a little bit more active, because I have been talking a lot, and visual novels usually take a long time. So on the Sunday and Monday, I might do something a little different other than visual novels. But I definitely want to come back to visual novels, especially with Tiny Bunny and Saint Maker coming up. Ooh, so good. But I gotta say, this game, this is a close 10 out of 10 for me. I'm absolutely loving it. The voice acting, 10. The story, it's high. It's very high. I'd give it an 8 or a 9. I gotta say, it's really good. The visuals, very good. The horror and the chill of it all, it's good, but could use a lot more of it. But at the same time, I feel like if there is a lot more of it, then it'll probably diminish the effect, you know. So yeah, no, I gotta say, overall, this is an amazing game. You can now get this game on Steam. You can even get it on Nintendo Switch, actually. The Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo shop has this game, so if you guys want to get it, please do. But if you get it on Steam, you can get it as a bundle with both Saint Maker and The Letter, both horror visual novels by the same people, which I'm gonna say there's gonna be a more amazing voice acting on it. So yeah, please do support them if you guys like it. I definitely will. And I do want to get all the endings as well. I want to know what the true ending is. You agree with your ratings? Oh man, yeah, it's so bloody good. Oh man, look at all these comments here. Let's go, The Letter, page 2. Would there be? Oh my god, would there be? No Luke X Isabella, no bye, says Marty Sai. Hannah X Isabella, please. Oh boy. Well, thank you, Yang Yang Mobile, and all of these other studios. My goodness, 2017.
Teal? Where are you, Teal?
Kylie?
Teal? Please? She's here!
Takako? I thought she's your friend.
She's still here, Teal!
Oh.
Help me! Please!
Oh god. Oh! Oh, she cracked her head in half. Dear you, if you're reading this, that means you finished playing the game in one way or another, and we thank you for the time you spent playing The Letter. The game is our passion project more than anything. Oh my goodness, that's why there's so much passion in this game. And we sincerely hope we delivered in bringing you one-of-a-kind visual novel experience. The Letter is the first of many visual novels coming from us. Yay! If you liked what we did with this game and would like to support us, please take some time to click the button below to find out. Thank you so much for everything. Let's talk soon. Love, Yang Yang Mobile Team. Support. Where does this take me? It takes me to a Patreon. Oh, nice. Oh, this is great. Excellent. All right, main menu. Oh boy. Well, yeah, there are so many things to this. So many achievements. Oh god, yeah, it's just, it's beautiful. Please check it out. I'm definitely going to be doing another new game run on myself and try to get all of the possible outcomes. I want everyone to die, I want everyone to live, I want some to die and some to live, just to see what's going on. But I really want to see what a true ending is. And if you guys want to see a true ending as well, come back next time. Maybe we might do that if I can search up how to do it. Or I'm sure someone has already done it on YouTube somewhere. But anyway, guys, thank you so much once again for tuning in with this very, very long playthrough since last week, The Letter. If you guys like what I do, I am a variety streamer. Please subscribe to me on YouTube or follow me on Twitch as well. I'd really appreciate that. But yeah, guys, the next time we'll be doing this is probably going to be in Halloween or maybe a bit earlier, depending. So until then, guys, have a great night, and I'll see you all on Sunday, 10 p.m. Eastern Australian time. Until then, guys, have a great night. Bye, Ruth, and see you later, everyone.